It was a wild, wild weekend of playoff basketball, y'all. Hey, if this don't get you excited, I promise you, ain't nothing gonna get you excited. We had 8 good games. Some of them not so much, but we took away a lot from each and every game. And we are going to dive into every single playoff series today. But first, me and my friends up here, we are going to start by talking about the biggest winners and the losers after game one of each playoff series. Before we get into that, yo, Manny, what's going on?
What's going on, man? How y'all doing? Y'all doing all right?
Cool. How about you?
Doing well.
Doing good, man. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited to get to it. Talk about these winners and losers and everything else that come with it. So let's do it.
All right, fellas, what's the word? Mars, chill, swiper.
It's the playoffs, Ron. It's the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's the playoffs. I'm in playoff mode. That's where I'm at. Let's do it.
All right. Well, I'm gonna be running a poll, and you guys are gonna determine the series that we talk about. So keep in mind of that, chat. Keep your eyes open for that. But first, let's dive into these biggest winners and losers. I'm gonna kick it to each and every one of you guys, and you can tell me which one you want to start with, a winner or a loser. Manny, we're gonna start with you.
Let's do it, man. I'm honored to be first up. Let's do this. So my first off, starting off with the winners, man. I gotta go with the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a huge win for them, and I say they get Damian Lillard back. Obviously, we know he had the whole situation with the blood clots going on, and he was possibly going to be out. Everybody was anticipating that he was going to be out for a minute, but obviously, we know he's coming back in this at some point this series, whether it's game 2, game 3, even if it's game 4. It's just a win for the Milwaukee Bucks as a whole that they get their point guard back. Obviously, they fell short in game 1, but things might be a little different if Dame come back game 2. So that's a huge win for the Bucks right there. That's number 1. And then also, number 2, I'm going to go with the Celtics. They avoided a big injury in Jason Tatum. Obviously, Derek White was the star of the show, putting up a 30-piece, but really, the Celtics they don't need no injuries going on right now, especially with Jaylen Brown kind of finally recovering from his whole little knee bruise situation, and then Jason Tatum escaping a wrist injury off that flagrant foul the other day. This is huge for the Celtics. So I say just escaping the injury bug, that's a huge win for them. So I'm gonna go winners right there. And then jump straight into the losers after that.
Now I'm gonna kick it to Mars now.
Okay, let's do it. Go ahead, Mars.
Well, winners
or losers, whatever side you want to choose.
Whichever you want to go, whichever way you want to go, Mars.
Winner, OKC only had to play for like 14 minutes before they completely won a game. Anytime you can just chill and win by 50, 51, whatever. One of the biggest. I'm have to Google if that was the largest margin of victory in a playoff game ever. It wasn't. It's the 5th largest. Someone won by like 59 one time. So they're winners for that.
Nuggets,
58, over Chris Paul and them.
Another winner is Ty Jerome.
Okay.
28 points off the bench.
Absolute masterclass from Ty Jerome in the 4th yesterday. In a game that was Miami were never really a threat to win, but they were always close enough to where it was like all it takes is one run and they could win the game. And then Ty Jerome just decided that that one run wasn't going to happen, and he really just took over the game. It's cool to see like someone whose career has gone the way Ty Jerome's has, seen him find a home and be comfortable and be really, really good. Just announced a 6th Man of the Year finalist as well. And then to come out in your playoff debut and be arguably the best player on the court in a series that has a lot of all-star caliber players, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Evan Mobley, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero. And not only did he hold his own, he looked like he might have been the best player out there. So Ty Jerome and OKC are going to be my 2 big winners.
Shout out Ty Jerome, 28 points in 26 minutes.
Man.
Swiper, what you got?
Can we discuss how Ty Jerome, before you go any further, Ron, I want to piggyback off what Mars just said. Just so you guys know, Ty Jerome did not just get out of college a year or 2 years ago. He's in year 6. He was on his way out the league. Like nobody was checking for Ty Jerome. Like he was what John Paxson was to the Bulls when they signed him in 1985. Nobody was particularly checking for Ty Jerome. He was a throw-in, and he gets on this Cleveland crew, and he's been fantastic for them. So I don't want to leave that out. That's very important to mention.
All right, Swiper, I was going to let you go, but my good friend Bob has got here, and he said that he wants to go next. And since he is thing 2 to my thing 1, I think he has the upper hand over you, Swiper.
I mean, she'll just Norman Powell the offense just now, so that's fine. Go ahead, Ox. Go ahead.
Appreciate that, and I appreciate you for understanding that, Swiper. Thank you. And Swiper, the reason I want to go next is because my big winner is none other than your squad, the Denver Nuggets. I mean, when you see a team play that type of basketball, like we were talking about it in the chat, and I was saying like it wasn't perfect. The defense wasn't great. The defense wasn't perfect. The rim deterrence was god awful, and
first quarter,
like the offensive rebounding, if you ask me, at the end of that basketball game is what won the game to me. The offensive rebounds, the second chance, just the griminess, the grind out the basketball game. That's the type of basketball I love to see, where it's not pretty, but it's just real hoop. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I mean, Russell Westbrook made a couple mistakes, but he still found a way to put his fingerprints on the game. You know what I'm saying? James Harden not boxing out, and Aaron Gordon and Russell Westbrook getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound and just not giving up on that game. Man, that was beautiful basketball. That was my favorite game of the weekend, hands down. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to the Nuggets, because that's how you win a playoff basketball game. So that's my first big winner, man. I was happy to watch that game. Shout out to the Nuggets. I think that was a very hard fought game, and the way they won that, it was just exciting, and I love to see it.
Ugly ain't bad, yo. Ugly is not bad. Just because I gotta stick my nose in there and I gotta roll my sleeves up and it gotta get ugly, that don't mean it's bad. In fact, we got to win games like that in order. We got to win games like that in order to win the series, because we ain't just gonna run everybody out of the gym every game. No,
to be fair, this is how the Nuggets have been winning for years. Like, so we'll get to that in a second. But they have been a grinded out team for the last several years. But that's another probably for more casual Nuggets observers. They typically like play well in those settings just because they like to slow the game down. I mean, Knox knows that obviously because he's watched. And then even like. We'll get to that in a minute. Like I said, I told you, the Kawhi thing is just not the issue. It's the Harden thing. But once they picked up the intensity in that second quarter, I mean, that stuff, it died out. But, basketball. My first winner, SGA and Tatum. Don't have to play their best games, and their teams are still utterly dominant. I mean, honestly, I think that's a perfect scenario. Yeah. I think one of them is going to win the title because both of those players can be great any given day. But even when they're not great, it don't matter. It just truly does not matter. And I think they just like that Thunder thing when SGA went to the bench and then they went from 12 to like 26. I was just like, all right, bro. Like,
swipe a 26-2 run with Shea on the bench. 26-2 run with Shea on the bench.
I don't want to watch this. No, chill. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't want to watch that series. But JJ, like the fact that we're gonna talk about Marvin Bagley being their best offensive option in the second half, it's nothing to talk about. I'm not gonna lie.
Bag.
No, he's cool. No, he's cool. He's having a good last year and a half. So I'm not trying to like disrespect or anything, but we need more from them. Anyway, SGA and Tatum, they threw rocks they couldn't throw a rock in the pond, and they still won. And then number 2 on that list, man. Look, me. I feel like I'm a winner. I want to say that the Indiana. No. Put Ron. Put me and you. Put me and you up. Me and you up. Both of us together. Come here, Ron. I told Ronald about Brook Lopez months ago.
Oh,
and Ronald and Ox, he swore Al Horford and Brook Lopez could have the same value in a playoff setting. Swore to us that it wasn't much of a difference. Brook Lopez literally couldn't play after the first quarter, y'all. Did y'all watch that game? He didn't help Giannis at all. Not one bit. Not one bit.
We'll get to this series.
No.
Brook is far from the problem.
Halliburton and
far from the issue.
But what did he do to help?
Far from the issue.
No. Again, I'm gonna ask Manny.
I still feel like Brook Lopez helped, bro. He might not have did it in that game, but bro, he helped stretch the floor. He helped stretch the floor. And
their best unit, Manny, was with Bobby Portis and Giannis at 4 or 5, easily. With AJ Green, easily.
That was for that game, though. That was only.
You know what their best unit was? You know what their best unit was? With Kuzma on the fucking bench, okay?
Kuzma was out there
on the bench.
Now Ron dropping F-bomb to defend Brook Lopez. You hear this?
Yeah, because that's how disgusted I am in Kyle Kuzma. And Torian Prince.
You guys tried to say Kyle Kuzma was a good pickup.
I ain't
And
gonna
he
lie.
is.
I still feel that way. I still feel that way.
I don't.
I'm not
I
writing
don't.
Kuz off after one game, bro. Relax,
AJ
bro.
Green.
Egg though.
We'll get there. But shout out,
Regardless,
shout out to
this is
Bitch
best. We talk about one game at a time. This is the
This is
playoffs,
true.
y'all. Don't do that. It's the playoffs.
Man.
One game at a time.
Kuz ain't been in the playoffs in a minute, bro. He was just out there. He was nervous.
Yo,
He got to knock
Pacers.
that rust off. He got to knock that
Yeah,
rust off. He's gonna
clearly.
get back to it.
Yeah, he had to just get his little track meet in, and he gonna be back game 2. Hopefully, I mean,
And look, all I know is this: is that somebody told y'all last offseason about the Pacers, and then all of a sudden it got cool and relevant again, like a month ago, because Ron wanted to start ore farming off the Indiana Pacers. I told y'all they have a squad. Chill.
Now
That
I'm not
team is
resident no
good.
more.
And y'all better
From the city.
believe once they make it past this series, if they do, they're going to be a hard out for the Cleveland Cavaliers too. They got a squad. Tyrese
Pacers-
Halliburton's cold. Neesmith is cold. Nimhart's cold. Miles Turner's been cold this year. Pascal Siakam might make an All-NBA team. He's going to get votes.
Turner
Yo,
Cole.
Yeah, they got a squad, Ron.
Yeah,
You really should be bigging up in them more, but that will hurt your Giannis agenda. But they are really legitimately a really good team.
they do got a good team, but when you take 24 game out the lineup, and not only do you take 24 game out the lineup, 24 game is coming back into the lineup, and you talking shit to 24 game, letting him know y'all
Their defense is going to be even worse, though. Chill. So cool. I'm honestly cool.
100% their defense.
But chill. Getting in a track meet with the Pacers is not a good strategy.
No, we don't want to get up and down the floor with them because that's their game. That's who they are. In fact, that's what they play with. They play with Halliburton and playing with pace. That's who they are. But all we got is Giannis doing everything. And I don't just mean buckets. Giannis is our glass cleaner. Giannis is our rim protector, even with Brook Lopez on the floor. Because what they're doing is they dragging Brook Lopez away from the basket and they getting him in switches. And once they get him in switches, in the words of the great Isaiah Thomas, we taking him out to the deep water and we drowning him. That's what we're doing. So now that makes him almost unplayable. So then you add Damian Lillard to that. Maybe we could supplement some of that on offense, right? Maybe we can supplement some of that on offense. And to be honest with you, Swiper, when we get down to late games where it's a 1-2 possession game, I like my chances if I'm Milwaukee and I got Dame on the floor, as opposed to if he's not on the floor and I got to ask Giannis to do any and everything in order for us to win. Even though I think Giannis is going to give us a masterclass, I don't think it's going to be enough.
I don't think
Fellas, we'll get back. We'll get back to this series. Swiper. So your biggest winner was yourself
and Tatum.
And yourself.
I mean, since we're getting nasty today, I know today's gonna be a nasty day. I just figured I get it started. So I would say me versus you up 1-0 so far, and then we can go from there.
I can't.
I didn't know we was just giving both back to back. I thought we were saying one.
Well, I thought we were gonna do 1-2, but then it went 2 to start, and we kept going from there. But
that's because this dude right here is trash, garbage, absolutely garbage, trash.
All right, chill. You was gonna go next, but oh damn, you the only one left. All right, well, go ahead, chill.
Unfortunately, I am the only one. So I'll start with the winners. Oklahoma City made it clear that even though our best player isn't great, we are a great team, and we're not playing games. We are not playing games at all. This is a statement game for the Oklahoma City Thunder to make clear that we're trying to run through the playoffs. Anybody that comes in here, and anybody that comes in here, this is what you're going to be up against. Now, don't get me wrong. They've beaten Memphis, I think, 10 straight times by an average margin of 18 a game. They stomped them every time they play them. So this was just another indication of what this is, no doubt about that. And the other winner, to Swiper's point, I thought was the Boston Celtics. When you got when you got your two best scorers, okay, Ox, when you got your two best scorers get 33 combined, that's all you get from your two best scorers.
This was your chance, Chill. This was your chance right here.
No,
his chance to what?
To respect Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
No,
don't worry, Ox. I got him next.
Here's why. Here's why. When your two best scorers score 33 and you still win going away, I mean that says a lot about your crew. 100% it says a lot about your crew. When you got a third guy that can score 30 at any point, and your defense can lock down and completely shut down another team. I mean that Orlando team, I can appreciate them going on a run in the second quarter, but that's it. That's who they are. All season long, what we've done is we've kind of thrown teams that aren't very good offensively by the wayside. And when they get into the playoffs, it's like, this team is really bad offensively. They've been garbage all year long. Now all of a sudden we get him. Now all of a sudden we get him in the playoffs, and it's like, wow, this team is really bad offensively. Orlando has not been a good team offensively all season long. To Mars's point, Franz cannot shoot open shots off the dribble. He can't. He can't make open shots off the dribble. That's going to be a huge problem for Orlando. Orlando, Miami, and Memphis. I can't see them dudes getting one game. They shouldn't. They shouldn't get one game in these series.
Miami getting one.
Sure.
You had Memphis getting game one?
I'm sorry.
No, I didn't. I actually had Dallas getting game one. I didn't
there.
say anything about Memphis. Let's go back to what we talked about.
Okay.
Let's be clear about
Get
that.
your facts straight, man.
I had Dallas getting game one. I did not have Memphis getting game one. No, I did not.
The 10 days of rest only applied to Dallas.
Yes, that's what I said. I said Dallas. I didn't even have Memphis winning that game. I had Dallas winning it.
Well, since y'all want to act like Steph Curry's not the most dangerous man walking, like I've been trying to tell y'all, I'll shout out Steph Curry real quick. I'll shout out Jimmy Butler.
You about to go next, brother? Can Manny get in next? Can we stay in order?
I was riding with you. I'm like, hey, let's do it. Let's hear it.
My bad.
Okay.
Y'all want the big screen? Go ahead. If y'all want to hype up Steph and Jimmy,
go ahead, dog.
okay.
Okay, all right, let's do it then. So losers, I go to my losers here, man, and I ain't taking no shots at nobody. As I say this, I know we got some fans of the Houston Rockets in here, but Rockets, man, they just I hate this for them. They going against an experienced Warriors team, man. They going against Steph Curry and Draymond and Jimmy Butler. They all got crazy experience, man. And if the Rockets could match up against anybody else, I think we would see somewhat of a great series where they had a chance to go to the next round, but it just so happens to be they ran into the greatest point guard of all time. Yeah, I said it, Stephen Curry, and they about to get sent home in 5 at minimum, unfortunately, man. But they too inexperienced, they not consistent enough, and they just don't have enough offensive firepower to really keep up with the Warriors. They can play defense and they can make it a great game, but I just don't think they'll be able to even come across 2 games in this series playing against the Warriors.
And also, why everybody keep talking about the Rockets defense like the Warriors ain't got a good elite defense on their own?
This is true too.
That's another thing. Like, Jimmy Butler and Draymond are
facts, and they guarding everybody. That's the thing too.
Pod's playing D too.
Pods, yep.
They guard
Moses Moody.
Steph was playing defense on Jalen Green.
That's not saying much.
Steph was sitting down. Say what you want to.
I could guard
Green.
What about the other way around though?
Somebody clowned me last time. I said Steph is an underrated defender, and somebody was clowning me last time. So I'm gonna stand on that. Jalen Green ain't even put up double digits, and this is what I mean.
Steph Curry defense praise because he guarded Jalen Green.
Okay,
Bars, you can play that role if you want to. Jalen Green is shifty, and he's the 20-point per game scorer. Steph Curry was sitting in the chair, moving his feet, beating him to the spot.
I want you to keep that same energy, Ryan, when we get to another game too. Go ahead.
Straighten me out. Have you ever heard of a team that was as good as the Houston Rockets? Their leading scorer be talked about like this.
Who's their leading scorer?
Jalen Green. I've never heard this before in my life.
Well, their team they're an anomaly
because we watched the team play basketball. That's why.
I watched them play. So maybe this is the exception because I watched Jalen Green and I mean the shots that he was getting yesterday. He does make those shots. It is different in the playoffs. I'm not going to argue that point. Yes, it is. It's 100% different in the playoffs. The temperature turns up and the rim might look a little bit further back than it did. But I mean. I never heard anybody talk about a team.
I think he's had 4 single-digit games in the last 5, Bart. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes,
4 in the last 4.
I think 3 in the last 4.
To be fair, our season was already secured when he had those 3 straight single-digit games.
They played the starters.
Last night was egregious. He's on my disgraceful game 1 team. Like Jalen Green is on.
Disgraceful works in this.
Fred VanVleet is joining him, by the way. Just putting out there.
Who is?
But Fred VanVleet. But the last 3 games of regular season. I don't really care that he scored single digits. I'm gonna be honest. Like our season was secured. I don't. But last night, yeah, he's on the all disgraceful team. Absolutely on the all disgraceful team.
Yeah, that was sad. That was sad last night, man.
And Thompson borderline on the all disgraceful team too. But we gonna.
Yeah, but we talked about this with Jalen Green though. Like we know Jalen Green's gonna have 2, maybe 3 good games this series. If it goes 7. We've already talked about this. We discussed this.
It's not going to 7.
Did we not? But hold on, no. Did we not discuss this? Did we not say over a 7-game playoff series sample size, Jalen Green will have 2 or 3 good games?
I was not here.
Wrong. Can I interest you in some amazing numbers? Can I interest you in some amazing numbers?
Get to the numbers.
Please.
Come on.
This is Jalen Green in his career against the Golden State Warriors. His first ever game against the Warriors. So we're going rookie year 2 today. 9 points, 4 for 12 shooting, 4 turnovers to 2 assists. His second game against the Warriors in his career, 3 points, 0 for 11 shooting, 0 for 6 from 3. 3 made free throws. Congratulations. And then the next game against the Warriors, 10 points, 2 for 9 shooting, 2 for 7 from 3. Then the next game, this is the best game he ever had so far, 16 points on 4 of 15 shooting, 3 of 7 from 3. No, 3 of 7 on 2s, 1 of 8 from 3. My fault. The next game, 13 points, 6 for 19 from the field, 0 of 5 from 3. The next game, 20 points, the best so far, 7 of 19 from the field. The next game, 21 points, 8 of 20 from the field. That's the closest we've got to being somewhat efficient. The next game, 16 points on 6 of 15 from the field. The next game, 13 points on 4 of 12 from the field. The next game, 7 points on 2 of 13 from the field. The next game, 14 points on 4 of 16 from the field. So next game, 12 points on 5 of 15 from the field.
Really quick, I don't want to interrupt. What I'm hearing is Steph been having them in jail for years.
3 games left. The next game, 9 points, 3 of 10 from the field. This is the best game he's had so far against the Warriors. 21 points on 9 of 19 from the field. That's the best game he's ever had against the Warriors. And then last night, 7 points on 3 of 15 from the field. He's never played well against this team.
What I'm hearing
what
I'm hearing is Steph Curry done had him in prison for years.
That sounds like
if you want to call that Steph Curry, then sure, go for it.
another
what
one.
I'm telling you is Jalen Green in his life has scored above 20 points, more than 20 points twice against the Warriors. 2 times. 20 points or more 3 times. He sucks against the Warriors.
They got his card.
He shot above 40% from the field once.
That's terrible.
In all of those games, one game was above 40% from the field.
This is why they losers in this pick right now. Because
what do you do with that? We're going to say 3 good games. He hasn't shown you 1 good game in his whole career against this team. But we'll see. If he has a good game too, then there'll be one of the.
What's it? Because them numbers that you just ran down to me, Mars, that sound like about 14 on like 38% from the floor. That's what that sound like to me. If I'm
38% from the field would be a positive.
Yeah, I'm just throwing a number out because to the numbers that you just said, that sound like about 14 to 16 a game. Now, for my starting 2 guard, that's great if it's 1995. That's fantastic if it's 1995. But in 2025, my starting 2 guard giving me 14 to 16 a game, and he's my leading scorer. No, that's not going to get it done. In fact, we're going to get smoked.
In the regular season, he averages 13 points per game on 31% shooting against the Warriors.
That's not.
And then obviously last night, 7 points on
3 of 15.
It's not enough.
20% shooting.
The scheme that we're looking at with Jalen Green, because him coming off those screens, I see him coming off screens and knocking down shots. Why he can't do that against the Warriors, especially in the mid range, going to his left? Because I saw him with Steph. I saw Steph Curry on him, and I'm watching Steven Adams, one of the best screen setters in the game, who was getting him open. And he was getting open in the mid-range where he isn't great, but I've seen him make open mid-range shots. I'm trying to figure out, I know it's the playoffs, and I know this is your first time being here, but I'm not going to overreact because I know it's Monday, and I'm not going to overreact. But he's got to be better. He has to be. He's getting to those spots where he can make shots. He's just got to be better, man. He does.
All right, Jalen Green in his career from mid-range.
Like
35%, 39%, 37%, 35%. If those are the shots that you're comfortable with him taking, you're asking him to be inefficient.
I'm just asking him to be respectable in the mid-range.
He's never been respectable.
Got to be consistent, man.
He's never been respectable in the mid-range. He's never even been close to respectable. His rookie year, he was 30% from the mid-range. The best he's ever been was 39% from the mid-range. These are egregious numbers. And these are the things that you're saying he should be able to make. He's never shown the ability to make these shots consistently.
Not consistently.
35% from the mid-range. There's a reason he gets open mid-range jump shots.
See, that's
no one worried about that.
Separates like a franchise player to just another great role player is the consistency. Like if somebody's consistent every night, getting you 25 plus every night, shooting consistent every night, that's what's making them like, okay, this is our franchise player. This is the guy we build around. This is the guy we keep forever. But like when you're given the inconsistent performances like that, the inconsistent shooting nights, then it's like, okay, well, maybe this guy is disposable. Maybe we try and look somewhere else and build somewhere else and try and find a new answer. And it's like, as good as Jalen Green is, like that's the only thing that's missing is the consistency.
That's one thing I definitely. The issue with Jalen Green is that he is consistent. He's consistently bad, and you guys think that the flashes of greatness.
You guys,
I'm off the train now, Swiper, so you can look at me. You guys think the flashes of greatness are this is what he can be. He's just not consistent enough. No, he consistently shows you what he is, and then you're tricked by the outlier goods games and like. Oh,
you are too, Mars. You did the same thing last year.
I've been off the train for how long now?
You did the same thing.
Yes,
I just with us, Mars.
I'm off the train now. I'm off the train now. You can tell me what I was a year ago. Absolutely. You can tell me what I was 6 months ago. Absolutely. I'm telling you what is wrong. I'm telling you, he's not good. Consistently, he hasn't been good. But the flashes of greatness, the March stretch, the stretch in January,
that's the problem, though, Mars. But see, that's the problem right there, though, Mars. Those flashes,
the inconsistency is the good games.
That's the good problem, though, Mars. And that's it right there, Mars. Those flashes, he's so damn good.
But you can't build teams around that, though, Chill. You know that.
But here's the difference. Here's the difference. You actually can. They're the number 2 seed.
You can't.
That's not why they're the number 2 seed, though, Chill.
Chill, Mars, and Swiper. We about to get back to these biggest winners and losers. We don't got time to go on a 30-minute rabbit hole about Jalen Green.
No more Houston rest of the day. All right, go ahead. Next.
It's on you. Oh, Big Ox, it's on you. What you got?
Steph Curry
Yep.
and Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
I've heard that these young boys had something for him. I've heard that Amin Thompson was going to be the Steph Curry stopper, like this little boy finna move the needle against the most dangerous man you've ever seen play basketball.
Get him.
Put some respect on Steph Curry's name, please. I don't want to see no more memes. I don't want to see no more Twitter posts. I don't want to see nothing else about Amin Thompson giving Steph Curry a hard time.
Get him.
I don't want to see nothing else about Jimmy Butler. I don't want to hear nothing else about playoff Jimmy ain't real. I don't want to hear nothing else about Tari Eason and Jabari Smith doing something about Jimmy Butler. This shit is not happening. These dudes are not old. They are in the prime of their career. Okay. Mars, it's of course 35 seems old when you're 12, Mars, but. These dudes are not old. These dudes are in their prime. They're in their prime. All right. Put some respect on Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry. This isn't you said we're not gonna get this from them in the playoffs. You gonna get this. You gonna get it, and the Rockets gonna get it too.
First and foremost, okay, that's just one side of it. Ox left out a whole. Ox gave you the breakfast, he gave you brunch, he even gave you all of that stuff. He left the steak and the potatoes out of it. He left the part out that, yes, Ox, I'm not going to argue, 11 for 12. Steph Curry didn't miss a shot. Let's not leave out the fact that he got shut down in the fourth quarter. We got a 2-possession game with 5 minutes left. With 3.5 minutes, these dudes is that. And then guys like, no, that was his only bucket in the fourth quarter, by the way. And that was in not. Hold on, Mars. That was like 9.5 minutes.
Trying to hate on Steph right now.
No, I'm not trying to hate on Steph.
You are trying to hate.
No, I'm not trying to hate on Steph Curry.
Give me a break.
No, he did
not. That's playoff basketball.
That's playoff
basketball.
No, he got busy.
Absolutely hating on Steph right now.
What the problem we had is the same problem we've had all year with the Houston Rockets. Their offense. Why? Because we get late into this game, they can't score consistently. Even though we had a 2-possession game, Moses Moody cracks a 3.25. To move this to 7, and then all of a sudden it falls apart. Other than that, they were doing just fine. Let's not make it sound like Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler just ran through these dudes.
Talk about Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter.
They scored 56 points between the two of them, and they both did very efficiently.
I'm not
Jimmy
arguing.
Butler closed that game out.
I'm not arguing. I am not arguing.
And Jimmy Butler closed the game out.
Thank you, Swiper. Let's talk about Jimmy Butler in the fourth quarter.
And then the defense he had, the strip he was getting weak side. Like he did everything, and he was working the transition.
Which goes.
Yeah, that was
they remind me of 89.
That's what I'm saying, bro. Like Jimmy and Draymond on the floor, and then Moses Moody, you glossed over it. He played great defense in the fourth quarter, and then those 2 shots that he hit were humongous. But that's what
He
you
hit
need,
this
though.
fadeaway mid-range. Like, God.
That was,
Going away.
that was crazy, bro.
The fadeaway mid-range wasn't even my issue, Mars. It was the 3 in the corner when we got a 2-possession game with 3.5.
Yeah, I mean, it was
No,
open
you
shot.
knew he was gonna make that. Like
When he made that
he
one, I
just
was
makes
like, damn.
timely ones.
Chill, look at Mars.
Huge
Chill.
right there.
Look at Mars. Chill. He got the look in his eye. He want to go home.
It was
No,
kind of.
we
It was
good. No, if I'm gonna bring out the Houston fan in me, the Rockets offense was even worse than I think people thought it was gonna be. And I'm part of the group that thought it was gonna be bad.
22 offensive rebounds. I mean,
65.
Mars misses family.
But
17
with it being that bad, they held the Warriors to 95.
Yep.
More often than not, in the current NBA, you hold a team to 95.
You're not. You should.
You got a chance to win the game. Like you should win the game.
Yeah.
This year they only
That's the
scored
problem.
85.
Yeah,
I
that's the
don't
problem
expect.
right
I
there.
don't expect everyone to be that bad again. Jalen Green, notwithstanding, I don't really have much faith in what he does in this series. If he plays well, then I think
Fred VanVleet's usually a good pull-up 3-point shooter, so maybe that will change.
Mhm.
Fred VanVleet shooting a pull-up 3 when he was 3 for 15 is a
Disgusting.
disgraceful shot.
Well, somebody had to do it. Who
No.
You gotta keep firing though. Yeah,
It was like I want to say it was
I-
like
I wasn't mad
I
at
want to
that
say it was
shot,
like a
Mark.
7-point game, maybe. I want to say 7-point game. We get a stop, and then Fred VanVleet just shoots a pull-up 3.
Well, Morris, what you want right there though?
We had a 3-on-1. What do you
What?
mean?
Yeah, you had
What?
to get to the rim. No, you had.
We had a 3-on-1,
He ain't been
and he shot a
falling.
pull-up 3 when he was 3 for 15.
You already missed 10 threes.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
what do you
bro.
mean? What do I want?
I get to
I
the
want my NBA championship point guards to make
Yeah.
a good decision. The experience he's meant to bring to the team,
This
I
is-
want it to manifest itself in good decision making. Am I asking for too much?
No.
Am I asking for too much to say in a 3-on-1, maybe a 3-on-2, just because I can't fully remember?
Well, but he was relatively open though, Mars. Like, what I mean? It is an advantage in the NBA now. That is an advantage. When you have a 3-on-1 to shoot a 3-pointer.
That is not an advantage.
If
Yes,
my
it is.
NBA
It
point
Bro,
guard-
literally, most teams do that. Most teams
Typically,
do
I'm
that.
okay with it, but considering he's been broke the whole game, I'm
But
like,
But outside of
experience in
Şengün, nobody
the
was
zone.
scoring, and then you can't get the ball to
in
Şengün
what
consistently in the
world
fourth
is a
quarter.
pull-up 3 when you're 3 for 15 in a 3-on-2 situation? A good shot.
I'm
Well,
on your
I-
side with
if you-
that,
if
Mark.
It more so
if-
depends on who you are.
You gotta shoot something else.
Yeah, I'm saying, like,
older.
If you are Frederick VanVleet,
Yep.
yes, I'm
how
cool.
is that a good shot?
You know, miss.
All right,
But no,
it's a good
I'm
shot
saying,
because you
Mars,
guys
who else was
often
going to get
suck.
the ball?
That's why
Oh, by the way, Mars,
that's
Mars, the biggest issue wasn't even that. It's the fact they took Steven Adams out of the game.
He should
That
have
was
played
the
the whole
biggest
second
issue.
half.
That was the biggest issue.
He should have played the whole second half.
Jalen Green.
Yo, but hold on. I'm
Green was
about to
a-
halt this conversation because we are going to. That's the first series we're going to talk to. The
Okay.
people in the chat voted about it. I just got to get some more winners and losers from you
Sure.
guys.
Yeah.
Swiper,
Wait,
Mars,
Is bro
Steele.
named Phil Frederick?
Swiper.
Fred, it's Fred, but I don't know. Fred.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, well, he's the biggest.
Frederick is Frederick Edmonds VanVleet. That's his name. Oh my, yeah, Frederick.
How can you pull that up so fast?
It's Google.
I had it. I
You
had
did
to.
pull it up.
Well, I'm
AI.
saying, what else is Freddie? What else is Fred short for?
I don't know, but Frederick
Um,
Edmund VanVleet. Yeah.
Federico.
I would say, you want some losers or what you want, Ron? What you want? Another winner? Which one, loser?
It's up to you, my man. With whatever
already
you
given
want.
I think losers, Mars group chat tweet messages. After the first quarter of the Nuggets game, Mars said that the Nuggets were getting swept, and he kept quoting the rim deterrence nonsense on Twitter and in the group chat. And then after that, I think we can all agree they proceeded to put the clamps up.
The
Rest of the
defense
game.
was a lot better. The defense
Yeah,
was a lot better.
because they play like men. Like, to be fair, like I also agree. The first quarter was horrible, but then they played like men from that point on, and then that's why the game turned into it was a rock fight. But I think the next winner I have, is the CBA. I think we're coming to terms, and even me, I picked the Lakers to win that Wolves series, but at some point in time, I think we have to come to terms with the fact if you're deep 1 through 9, and if you took the top 10 players in the series and 3 of them are on the Lakers and 7 of them are on the Wolves,
Come on, man.
that's probably going to be like a larger story. I think that the Wolves having like this much talent, the Lakers also, the only way they play defense is packing the paint. Luka was getting targeted on and off ball. And so the same thing that Dallas did, they try to funnel and like pack the paint and you can't score. But the problem is the Wolves are one of the best shooting teams in the league.
Yep.
And so now they're creating advantages all across the court. Nobody can stay in front of anybody. They have no rim protection. And then on top of that, Like Rudy Gobert was also excellent in the 24 minutes he played. He had a 100 defensive rating when he was on the court. He continues to be elite. Like the Wolves legitimately might win this series. And I picked
They will win. They will.
Ron,
I ain't giving takes off the game one personally. But.
Ron, did you and I have a
I might just not be there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Swiper. Because
No, it's all cool, Norman Powell. I'm just saying that in this situation, Chill.
By the way.
I truly, maybe it is Chill, just the talent advantage might just be too much, Chill. It really might.
100%. Ron, did you and I not have a conversation on Thursday? I think it was Thursday or Friday. You and I had a conversation on what is the difference in this Minnesota, in this Lakers series, and I told you, quote, keep Rudy away from Luka. You have enough protection on the wing to keep him away from Luka. 2 of the 3 fouls that he got early in the game were on Luka. Why? Because we're conceding switches. We're conceding ghost screens. If you keep him away from him, then we'll be just fine. Once they started doing that, to Swiper's point, their defense was just fantastic. And Rudy was great. 100% he was.
All right, Morris, what you got?
Losers? Well, I got my all disgrace team.
Uh-oh. Who's starting, Mars? At the one, we got who, Mars? Who we got at the one?
We got Frederick Edmund Van Vliet.
Van Vliet at the one. Who we got at the 2, Mars?
Jalen Green.
Jalen Green. Who we got at the 4, Mars?
At the 3. No, it's not the whole Rockets team because at the 3 I got Norman Powell.
We got Norman Powell at the 3. Who we got at the power, Mars? Who we got at the power, Mars?
The power forward spot was tough. The power forward spot.
Well,
How about James?
We have some nominations.
No, it is not.
How about
Say
James?
his name. It's 3 letters. It is 3 letters. Oh my God! How have we went 37 minutes without talking about this disgraceful performance in Oklahoma City? Holy shit!
No,
You want me to
You can put him in center if you want to.
You want me to say J? Is that you want to say?
4 points is
You
straight.
say 1 J. He only deserves 1 J.
Disgusting work.
So at the 4, I got Jaren Jackson.
Oh my God!
Disgusting work.
What?
and at the 5, who we got, Mars? Who we got at the big spot?
Disgusting.
There's options here.
There are some options at the 5.
You could
Brook
just,
Lopez?
you could just end it at 4. Hey, Morris.
No,
You know how
we're
you
not
did your
ending it at
first team?
4.
No, you know how you did your first team?
No,
only gave it only 4 people? That's how bad Jerome was.
We're making an alteration. Triple J is gonna be our 5. At the 4, Kyle Kuzma. That's what we're doing.
Oh, okay. Small
So we
ball.
got Fred Van Vliet, Jalen Green, Norman Powell, Kyle Kuzma, Triple J. That's the all game 1 disgrace team. Every one of their performances was disgraceful. And off the bench, Kawhi Leonard. You lucky Norman Powell was worse than you. Because goddamn, you were disgraceful too. But that's my all 5 for the disgrace team. So those are my losers. Those 5 people.
Ox, you fight that?
Those 5 are my losers.
I think calling Kawhi disgraceful is ridiculous, but I mean, Mars sees what he sees. I see what I see. You know what I'm saying?
Disgraceful. So those 5 are my all disgrace team. So they're my losers.
I was upset. I was upset because I was yelling at
JJ Redick is the coach of the disgrace team. Sorry,
I swear I was screaming. I was screaming at the television. As soon as Kawhi caught that ball right there, I was like, James, go get the ball. Not because I thought Kawhi was going to turn it over. I did not expect that. I did not expect for him to poke the ball out of Kawhi Leonard's hands and then hit his leg or his elbow and go out of bounds. I wasn't expecting that. No way. But I do want James Harden to have the ball right there in that situation. And as soon as I yelled it, Kawhi doing all this shit, swiping them off him, trying to big man him in. That was a very crucial turnover. But I didn't think he was going to turn it over, but I still want James Harden to have the ball. Like you got James Harden, but let him get the rock in these times. He's gonna make the right decision. You know what I'm saying? I believe in James Harden's ability to make the right decision. And on top of that, though, I expect Kawhi to do the right thing too, which is go to work. You know what I'm saying? Get straight to it. But I mean, I still, regardless, I want James Harden to have the ball. He touches the ball first. You know what I'm saying? For the last.
But the thing is, too, Kawhi couldn't really get, and this is more so.
Fellas,
like I said,
we'll get into this in a second.
Yeah,
I gotta get this money right quick.
Chill.
Last but not least, what you got?
Yes, sir. The loser, I think that this is obvious. To lose by 50, I'm good on you dudes. I'm straight.
God damn.
You smoked by 50. I mean, they was waiting outside for you guys.
Right?
They got stomped and utterly, completely embarrassed. They didn't get anything together. Their defense was terrible. Their offense was terrible. Ja was out there smiling. I mean, this is one of those games where I didn't appreciate this at all. I did not appreciate this at all. Triple J is telling us that you just got to learn from this. Learn what? We were prepared for this game. Wasn't like we weren't prepared. We were prepared. We knew who Oklahoma City is. We know what they do. But you guys didn't get back on. You guys didn't get back in transition. You didn't make open shots. You didn't get on the glass. Your perimeter defense was garbage. Not only was your perimeter defense garbage, your rotation guys, with the exception of Marvin Bagley, who I would love to talk about later, with the exception of Marvin Bagley, we didn't get anything from anybody else. This was an utter disgraceful performance, and they are the biggest losers of the weekend. To lose by 50, I'm telling you right now, Swiper, as a former basketball player, the next game we play, we ain't getting blown out without a fight. I'm telling you that right now.
The Bucks lost by 40, and then they won the championship the same year. So
no, in game 1 of the playoffs, not game 1 of the final series, game 1 of the East Finals. We just started the playoffs. This is how the playoffs starting. We get blown out by 50. No, that's unacceptable. Right there.
You gotta set the tone, man. You gotta set the tone. I feel like any and every team that went into their game was definitely looking at it like, let's set the tone with game 1, and let's get a win. But to lose by 50 is just ridiculous, man. And then 4 points.
I mean, lose by 1, lose by 50. It's all a loss. I know. Okay, no. All right. We don't. I'm not even gonna talk about it. I'm not even gonna talk about it. All right. I said that. That's all I got to say about it. But I just want to, I can't do biggest losers. You know what I'm saying? I just think that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? I want to just big up the biggest winners, and the biggest winners. To your point, Swiper, is me, Swiper. You know why? Because there's no better feeling in the world than to watch the Lakers lose basketball games. You know what I mean?
Preach.
And I know what they said. Oh, it's crazy for you to send this tweet from Cancun. I don't care. The Lakers lost. You know what I'm saying? The Lakers lost, and I'm happy about it. You know what I'm saying?
Question for you, Ox. We did see Anthony Edwards show both KD and Devin Booker the door last year in round 1, and they got the brooms out. Now I know that now I know that Luka and James, they ain't KD and Book. But
says you.
That's what is it? I'm just saying, Ox. Is it ridiculous for me to think that they could do this again?
Absolutely.
Well, I said we were talking about this on Saturday. Chill, I told you. I said he just did it to them. Why can't he do it to them? And then you said, well, James and Luka, not KD and Book. And I said, says you.
Look, the biggest factor here. Everybody keeps saying Anthony Edwards and LeBron, Luka. Look, man. Anthony Edwards told y'all last year, they got Kevin Durant, but we got Jaden McDaniels. It's the same situation. McDaniels dropped a 30-piece this game 1.
He's another one of them big winners.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing.
And they got Julius Randle. And they got Julius Randle.
Julius Randle had, in my opinion, his best ever playoff game.
Yeah, with 7 turnovers.
Yeah, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't.
I know, which is crazy. That's the best game ever.
Yeah, it's the best he ever played in.
3 of those turnovers came from him getting offensive rebounds and getting the ball stripped. So let's.
Also, Lake Show said that he's never seen Dante DiVincenzo do that.
He doesn't watch the Timberwolves or the Knicks. So.
But I'm saying, the Knicks had the Knicks series were 76ers would have maybe a top 3 series of the playoffs last year. He
was watching the Lakers.
But Dante was going crazy last year, Ox.
Right.
Hell yeah.
He's like that.
He did go on.
He led the playoffs in threes last year. Like nobody made more threes last year in the playoffs than Dante. He went home in round 2.
He saved the
Knicks. Y'all got to remember.
He saved them.
Y'all got to remember when the trade happened. A lot of people were saying, well, the fact that they got Dante over there kind of makes up for Julius instead of Cat.
And then he started slow, but then ever since he's been back from his injury, I think it was a toe injury or whatever, he's been great. But like this series, and we don't need to talk. I'm not going to talk about the series, but it's not Anthony Edwards versus LeBron and Luka. It's the Timberwolves versus the Lakers. That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
So if the Timberwolves win, it's not Anthony Edwards sent LeBron and Luka home. That's not how it is. It's the Timberwolves.
We can pretend like Nas
the Timberwolves are going to send the Lakers home, or the Lakers are going to send the Timberwolves home. Like that's what it's going to be. It's not. You don't just win the series because you got these 2 guys and I got this guy, and my 2 guys are better than your guy. Like that's not really how it works.
I did like to see Luka competing on defense though.
Yeah, he was competing.
I don't know if I'm tripping, but I was impressed with Luka's competitive nature on the defensive end of the floor. I was.
We'll get to the Lakers here in a second, y'all. But what I need you guys to do is like the video, turn on your notification bells, subscribe, and everybody in here, just buckle your seatbelts right quick. I'm gonna take you to 2 quick destinations, and then we are going to talk about all 8 playoff series one by one by one. But first, before we do that, let me tell you about a beautiful app called PrizePicks. Don't you love the purple on the screen? Now, what you need to do is download the app, use promo code PANEL, and you will get $50 instantly when you play just $5. And it is a beautiful time to be on PrizePicks right now, ladies and gentlemen, because they have a playoff promo where it's called Takes Two Tickets. And you know what that means? Well, that means that your takes can take you to sit courtside at the championship. Yes, the NBA championship. Every time you play a $5 3-pick flex NBA lineup and you submit it during the playoffs, you'll be entered into a VIP or entered to win a VIP trip to sit courtside at the ship. So make sure you are getting active and busy during these playoffs for an opportunity to win the grand prize to go to the NBA Finals. I know I'm doing it, and I'm doing it right here, right now. Look on the screen. You guys can see for $10, we have an opportunity to win $100, and it's 5 picks. We got James Harden going more on points and rebounds, 33.5. We got Zubac and
Points
Jokic.
and assists.
Points and assists, 33.5. We got Zubac and Jokic. Rebounds combo, 25. We're going more on that. We got Jalen Duren and Karl Anthony Towns. Rebounds combo, 22.5. We're going more than that. We got Cade Cunningham, 33.5. Points and rebounds, we going more than that. And last but not least, Josh Hart, points and rebounds, we going more on that as well. That's how we rocking today, ladies and gentlemen. All right, fellas. Before we get to the first playoff series, I'm going to read a couple super chats, and then we're going to go ahead and dive into it. Cowboy Bob said Tibbs using Hart to screen for Brunson because Duren out of rim protection. Because the rim's out of rim protection. Cat and OG big contribution defense and rebounding keeping 21-0 run going. Tibbs played 9. Need Bridges to play more like Payne. 1 down, 3 to go. Go New York, go.
That's my
21
other winner.
run is crazy, by the way.
It's nuts.
That was on my biggest losers list. The Detroit Pistons. And Manny, I'm sorry, brother, but that was bad.
Well, Campaign said though, like, you know, he loves playing in the NBA and he really appreciates being here. And he doesn't take it for granted. And I think he showed again, game 1. Like he can be a good NBA player, and he is a good NBA player, obviously. So shout out to him, man. He made some really important plays that game.
Yeah, he stepped up big time. I think it was a big collapse on the Pistons. I mean, first game jitters, first game nerves, but they had control the whole game, which is why I'm still confident they can win the series. But it just so happened they folded. They stopped playing defense. And honestly, I think it was just a little bit of excitement because they kicked the lead. I want to say it was like 12 points at one point, kind of going into the fourth. And they might have got a little excited about it and thought they had full control and the game was about to just be coasted all the way to a dub. But, I mean, playing in New York is already tough. And they went on that big run, and that was it right there. So that's something I think you can learn from, unlike getting beat by 50. But, you know, hopefully they step up. I think K had a lot of turnovers too that really, really hurt them as a whole, and that helped out the Knicks on going on that 21-0 run. So, I mean, they definitely got to limit turnovers, but I think defensively they were solid up into that last minute in the fourth quarter. But I don't think this series is ending in no 4-0 type of thing. I still got this as a 6 for sure.
I got to go in 7 games.
Did y'all see the Garden?
I'm mad at that.
Y'all seen how the Garden was jumping? Y'all seen all the celebrities and all that stuff in there? And shout out New York for packing the arena and getting some playoff basketball out there. And speaking of playoff basketball, if you want to get in the game, well, download the Gametime app and create an account and then use promo code CLNS. Now, obviously, it's playoff season. We just talked about how the Garden was rocking, but I want to take you guys on a trip down memory lane. You remember when Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook, well, more so Russell Westbrook, got the Thunder up 3-1 against the Warriors? And Kevin Durant didn't step up and be the superstar he was, and they squandered the lead away. And then the Warriors go to the championship, and obviously Steph Curry was unanimous MVP. The Warriors set a record with 73 wins, and they go up 3-1 against the Cleveland Cavaliers. And then there was the King. King James walked them down. Well, that's the type of history that you guys shouldn't miss. And the Gametime app will allow you to get in the game and not miss any special playoff moments. Now, Gametime, it makes getting tickets faster and easier than ever, especially for hard-to-get playoff seats. Like, well, in the garden. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer it gets to tip off. They have killer last minute deals, all in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guaranteed. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NBA playoff tickets. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, but again, create an account and redeem your code using CLNS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Get last minute tickets. Lowest prices guaranteed. Voila, you're in the game. All right, y'all. Here we go. The first series that you guys voted on for us to talk to in the poll, and I'm going to go ahead and run another poll right after this, but we're talking about the Rockets and the Warriors, and the Warriors won 95-85. Jimmy Butler, as we mentioned, Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry both had amazing playoff games. Steph Curry with 31 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. Jimmy Butler was the first Warriors player, or the fourth Warriors player ever to go 25, 5, 5, and 5. He had 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. And the Rockets, Şengün came to play. He had 26 points and 9 rebounds. But you guys, the expert analysis, tell the people, how did y'all feel about this game? I did not touch that. And I don't know how we're in Chill with Chill, but hey, we're here, so I'm not changing it back. Come on, talk to us, Chill. How'd you feel about this game?
The difference in the game was Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet. I mean, I thought that their defense was fantastic. They held the Warriors to under 100 points. I thought that they did a really good job on the glass, even on the offensive glass. Ron, between Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet, they go 7 for 34. The rest of the crew shoots almost 50% from the floor. We can't get anything from these two guys. That offense from those two guys was the difference in the game. If we could get more offense from them, then I think that we have a better shot at winning. Now, don't get me wrong, Jimmy Butler, for all intents and purposes, I think that if I'm not mistaken, this Warriors team, since he's been on the crew, they're in the top 5 in the league in every major category since he's gotten on this crew. But this Houston Rockets team, defense is not just going to be enough. You have to be able to score. And that has to come from my lead guard in Fred VanVleet. To Mars' point, that pull-up 3. I mean, if you could take 2 dribbles and get to the free throw line and knock down that jump shot, I mean, I think that that's just as significant because we're on a run. And we got a back-and-forth game as opposed to you missing that 3. Now they go back down and they score a 3, which is back-breaking. It reminded me of how Robert Horry used to make back-breaking threes when he was on the Lakers team and when he was with that Spurs team. When Moses Moody, I'm sorry, Ox, if I reminded you of that. I apologize, brother. It reminded me of that. But ultimately, with this Houston Rockets team, I think that if we can get better production from Fred VanVleet and we can get solid production, Mars. I'm not even talking about elite production. If we could get solid production for 1 or 2 games from from Jalen Green, I think that this series will be a lot more competitive on the offensive end for the Houston Rockets.
Mars. Hey, you know the people want to hear what you got to say about this series.
Nah, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. I think the Warriors overall, I don't think were that great. I think Steph was amazing, and Steph made so many timely threes. He started, I want to say, 0 for 3 from 3, and then decided to go 5 for 6 the rest of the way. And some of the threes he made last night were just ridiculous. One that annoyed me was it was very clearly off of Golden State, and then they kept the ball 6 seconds left, and then Steph makes a 30. That one
where
was,
he just ran right into it from 30 feet.
That was
Raymond
painful
clearly hit
because
the ball.
the
Yes,
Warriors shouldn't even have had the ball in that position. But Steph making that shot is ridiculous. He made a fade in 3 going to his right. I want to say it was Jalen Green.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what you even meant to do with that. Like, there's just nothing you can do at that point. Moses Moody, has already been spoken about, just made some big shots down the stretch. Pods, I think, overall played well. Took a nice charge early in the game. Overall, I think was really good. And then on the Rockets side of things, I think the things everyone knew the Rockets were going to do, they did. Offensive rebounding, tenacious defense, really, really great defense, in my opinion. And then the concerns were just evidently apparent. It was the backcourt, how consistent can they score, and how consistent can the team score in general. In the half court, Houston generated a 65 offensive rating.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how bad that is?
That's horrible.
Like that's some of the worst offense you've ever seen. But when you rebound 43% of your misses, You have chance.
And we can't rely on that though, Mars. That's not what we
That's
can't
what
rely
they're relying on.
No, we have to get some more production offensively because we can't just hope that Steven Adams, who is for all intents and purposes the best rebounder in this series, we can't hope that he's gonna bail us out with offensive rebounds to get us second shots.
But that's what their offense has been for the last 30 games, though.
They're the best. That like I want to say I've seen something earlier. I don't know how true it is because I can't bother to check. Statistically, they're like the best offensive rebounding team of the last 20 years or something. Like this is their offense. This is what they do. They win games because they take the most shots in the NBA.
Yeah,
they are number 1 in field goal attempts and number 11 in field goals made and number 21 in field goal percentage. The Rockets don't win because they outscore you with efficient offense. They win because they take way more shots than you. That's what they do. Is they win the possession battle. That's how they win games, and that's how they're going to win games. If they do win games in this series, that's how it's going to happen. Now, obviously, this is extremely bad. Even they couldn't overcome this level of poor offensive performance. You need something from Jalen Green, something from Amen Thompson, who was also terrible, by the way, something from Fred VanVleet. Outside of Şengün and, in my opinion, Steven Adams, no one else on the Rockets played well. In my opinion.
Stop, Miles. Rewind right there, Miles. I want you to stay with Amen Thompson because for you to say he was terrible, why was he terrible? What was the issue with him?
I mean, offensively, I think just the lack of outside scoring was apparent. I think teams loaded up on him and the fact that no one else can shoot, so he didn't get clear driving lanes. We didn't get to use him in the dunker spot much because we ended up going to the double bigs because the only way we could score was offensive rebounds, which means Amen Thompson had to float around the perimeter, which means he couldn't be where he's most advantageous. Defensively, I think because of how much switching we did, including with Steph Curry, Amen just didn't get to use his superpower, which was his length and athleticism guarding Steph, because we did so much switching. So defensively, he was more of a non-factor than I think he should have been. And then offensively, he just didn't have anywhere to go because of his limitations and because of the lineups we were playing out.
About to go.
He didn't have anywhere. He didn't have anywhere to affect the game, and he's limited. So,
and I think that was a disservice to. I think that was a disservice to Amen because I think Coach Udoka put him in space where he's trying to make shots and he's trying to create shots off the dribble when he's got Steph Curry on him or when he's got pods on him, and I'm watching him take fall away 16-footers, and I'm like, that's not your game. Why are you at the free throw line?
You got two bigs in the game. That's why.
Okay, I understand that, but that goes back to coaching, Mars. We got two bigs in the game.
We needed them in the game.
Yes, you did for rebounding, but put one of them bigs in the dunker spot. How about that? We can't just have.
Well, where else? Or where's the other one going?
Okay, so Şengün is not just going to play down low. Şengün is also going to play on the perimeter.
Why?
Şengün is going to play.
But he did. He was isolating that free throw line.
Yeah, he would, and then he was.
And then you would have Steven Adams in the dunker spot. You can't have two people in the dunker spot.
No, you can't. But which I'm getting to that. So Draymond Green is baiting Şengün. I think Şengün is overthinking it. I think that mid-range shot that he's got at the free throw line, he's trying to go at Draymond because Draymond backs off him and then he comes back up to him. I think he's just, when he's at the free throw line, he can just knock that shot down.
No.
Why not?
That's not what he does. He's not even a good. He's not even a good.
No, I have an obsession with the mid post. That's what I have an obsession.
He's not a good mid range shooter.
I have an obsession.
Yo, he shot the flamingo. It's a flamingo one.
Even if
he shot in the fourth quarter yesterday and missed it.
6'10" guy playing in the mid post. I have an obsession with that. A guy that's 6'10" who can score in the mid post. I have an obsession with that. 100%.
And it's not Draymond. He gets the hooks and floaters. That's what he does.
Right. And when he's facing Draymond
in the first half, though.
In the first quarter. That's my point, Ron. And when he's facing Draymond up,
I seen him hit 2 jumpers.
And
that's cool, though, bro. Like, but I'm saying, but like Draymond wants you to do that, though. Like, I'm conceding those.
Then do it. Like, what do you mean? Like, yeah, shoot the ball.
That's the point.
You gotta take it, man. You gotta take what the offense is giving you.
What's this gonna do with Amen Thompson?
They giving you to get in the whole game.
I don't know.
What's this gonna do with Amen Thompson?
Well, the point that I was making about Amen Thompson is with Şengün playing in the mid post.
Yes.
Amen Thompson having the ball in the mid-range, throwing the ball between his legs, that's not his game. That's where the coaching comes in. That's where if you got Şengün in the mid-post and in the mid-range, Amen Thompson, if you got Steven Adams in one dunker spot on one end of the floor, you can put Amen Thompson in the corner. You can put not deep in the corner, but you can put him on the baseline. You can put him in those areas in the mid-post. And then with Şengün in the mid-post being able to shoot the basketball against Draymond instead of worrying about what Draymond is going to do, I think that makes more sense as opposed to I got Amin Thompson throwing the ball between his legs, 3-4 dribbles, trying to make fadeaway shots from 14 feet. That's not going to work.
Chill, you can absolutely run a set like that with those two. I can see a set where you got if you got to play Sengun and Steven Adams, if one of them is in this short corner or the dunker spot and the other one's on the other side, you can absolutely run a set like that. And you can let Jabari create in the mid right there in the middle of the court, or a min coming downhill in that mid right there down the lane. You can run something like that. I can see that. I don't know the answers to the Houston Rockets offensive problems, but to your point though, Mars, like sometimes you just got to get it up on the rim, especially when you got guys that could just go get it. Sometimes that's, and as you and Swiper are saying, that's been the offense they've been running. Sometimes you just got to do that. Like, yo, I'm stuck. Shoot the ball. I'll get it up on the rim. We'll get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but they got personnel issues. I think.
What happens on defense when now we got the Warriors making shots and we can't make shots? So we're just going to rely on our defense and offensive rebounding? Is that it?
That's what their season's been. That's what their season's been.
Like, but stop saying that's what their season has been. Because Sengun is not averaging 19 a game because he's on the glass.
54 true shooting for a reason, because he's not a shot converter at a high level. That's what he is.
So he can make
Jalen Green is not averaging 21 a game.
He hasn't been hitting those mid-range shots with the same level of accuracy he did the year before.
Because what you dudes are trying to sell me is you're trying to sell me that all these guys do is offensive rebound. They're scoring coming from other places. What are you telling me, guys?
Sengun got busy last night.
When we say the Magic can't shoot three, when we say the Magic can't shoot threes, that doesn't mean they make 0 threes a game. Like, we don't need to be obtuse about this. When we're saying the Rockets' offense is predominantly offensive rebounds, that does not mean the only way they score is by getting rebounds. Like, we're not.
No, you just told me that you shoot the most and you offensive rebound the most.
The reason they are successful,
you said you shoot the most.
The reason they are successful offensively is because of offensive rebounds. That does not mean they score 102 points a game all off putbacks. Like, none of us are dumb. We know what we're saying.
So that other stuff,
you know that we're not saying they only score putbacks.
So that other stuff, Mars, where's it coming from? We need to do that.
Well, hold on. Jalen Green shot 20% yesterday. What? Fred VanVleet didn't shoot well yesterday. Amin Thompson sucked offensively yesterday. The only person that played well was Sengun. They scored 85 points. Who?
And Steven Adams.
Steven Adams.
Yes.
Steven Adams and Sengun. The only reason they scored 85 points yesterday. So again, their jump shooting was horrible yesterday as a team.
Right.
As a team, that was the real issue. But the issue is, Chill, their jump shooting is less reliable than every other Western Conference playoff team. That's what I'm saying. They're the worst jump shooting team of any of those teams. And I even think Memphis is lacking that. And that's why I think Memphis is going to get munched off and get 4-0 in this series. My whole point of picking the Warriors is I don't care how good your defense is. And the thing is, everybody keeps talking about the Rockets defense. No one's talking about the Warriors defense. Since Jimmy Butler's been there, they've had the best defense in basketball, Chill. The best. The best. They got the two best defenders. Look, Amin Thompson, best defender, whatever, cool on his team. But in terms of like actual personnel,
sure,
Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, Moses Moody, Podziemski,
they've been great.
Is like elite.
They've been great.
I still think the Rockets' defense is better, but
the Rockets' defense is better
on the other end.
Yeah, but if you mix their
they just got
one defense is going against good offense and one defense going against
exactly. You mix the Warriors playing really good defense.
The
Houston Rockets already not being able to score.
Exactly,
and this is what you get. I mean, at least the Rockets are playing defense against,
and they got lucky.
Very competent.
I don't mean lucky in a disrespectful way, but Steven Adams was their second best player yesterday. That's luck. Like, I'm sorry, like that's it's not. It's luck in this sense.
That's not luck. That's the bad thing.
I know. I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. I'm saying like Jalen Green was so porous. So was Fred VanVleet. They're lucky that Steven Adams is such an elite offensive rebounder, or else they would score 70 points.
But that's what he does, though.
70. I know, but that's what I'm telling y'all. Like a luck, if you just adjust their offense relative to the rest of the West, I'm telling you, they're probably the luckiest offense. Luckiest been meaning like what it takes for them to score at a proficient level relative to the rest of the West. I'm saying they have to do more and work harder to be a competent offense than anybody else.
This is a bit of an overreaction.
Why they gonna lose?
No, I'm saying Ron. The only reason it's not an overreaction, Ron, is because we knew this coming into the playoffs already, bro. Like, it's not an overreaction because as good as we know the Rockets are, They're just not there yet. Where we talked about this we're an hour and 5 minutes into the show. We've already talked about the fact that Jalen Green is not a consistent. He's not consistent with the
By the way,
scoring
Mars,
ability.
luck adjusted this.
We've talked about Jabari and Amin not being able to fill it up, and their issues in the mid range and all of that. We've talked about this. This is not something that we didn't expect to happen. This isn't an overreaction. In fact, I'll say this: the fact that the Steph Curry and everybody went on that little slump at the end of the third, beginning of the fourth, or whatever, that's actually given us more hope than there really is. This series is nowhere near as close as that game score looks, Ron.
That could be the case. I'm gonna tell you why this is a bit of at all. And that can be the case. I'm gonna tell you why it's a bit of an overreaction, though. And then Manny, I want you to go next and talk about this series. But this is all I'm gonna say. Fred VanVleet is not going to shoot 21% from the field. He's not going 4 for 19 for the rest of the series. Yeah. Now, he might shoot 30%. He might shoot 35. Hell, he might shoot 40. He's not going 4 for 19 again. So the Warriors, brace yourself. Again, Jalen Green, and y'all could take this as you want to, Mars. You could pull up the rest of the numbers. He's not going 3 for 15 for the rest of the series. He's just not. They're backcourt.
How do you know that? How do you
know that? Steve Kerr knows this, Ron.
That's why.
Steve Kerr knows this.
You be wrong.
The Warriors players know this. Steph Curry has been through this for over a decade. Jimmy Butler's been through this for over a decade.
I'm not talking about Steph Curry.
I know you're not. I'm talking about the Warriors offense. I know
Fred VanVleet this season against the Warriors averages 9 points on 22 possessions.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, Ron. I understand what you're saying. This is the point about it is that's how basketball works. And Steve Kerr, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, everybody, they all know this already. So it's not.
Jalen Green sucks so bad against the Warriors. Give us a break. If Jalen Green sucks so bad,
Ron, it's not about giving a break. It's not about giving a break.
They're getting swept. They ain't winning the game. They're not winning the game in this series. They not. If this is what I'm getting from your backcourt, if this is what I'm getting from your backcourt, they ain't winning the game in this series. This series is over.
Okay, but that's what I'm saying.
You can look at it two ways, though. You can look at it two ways because you can be like, all right, as bad as they played, they'll never play that bad again. They lost by 10. As bad as they
heard Mars tell me that he shoots 20% against the Rockets, against the Warriors. So why are we here?
Technically, if you want to get statistical, Fred VanVleet played better last night than he normally does against the Warriors.
I'm telling you, he's not going to play that bad.
So Ron, we're talking about playoff basketball. We're talking about a series, right? We're talking about playoff basketball. Talking about a series, right? Okay. So you're telling us something that you're not the only person that knows this, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, we expect some players to play different. But why are you acting like the Warriors are just gonna walk back into Houston tomorrow? Whenever that, hold on, y'all, just relax, Ron. Just relax.
I never said that the Warriors are gonna play worse. I just said
Keep going.
So what I'm saying is, what makes you think that you're the only person that knows this? What makes you think that Steph Curry, Steve Kerr, and the whole Warriors team is walking into the Toyota Center like, hey, they're going to do the same thing as last time? Whatever Ime Udoka's doing to make adjustments, all of that, whatever's happening, the same thing is happening in the other locker room. But in the other locker room, it's a much better team. It's a much more experienced basketball team.
What does that got to do with Fred VanVleet making open shots?
Because what I'm trying to tell you, Ron, is making those open shots and those pull-up jumpers is not going to win them the basketball game.
I never said that. I just said they're not going to play.
So then what's the point?
I started by saying that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to win the series.
I know. I
started by saying it's an overreaction.
They don't have a chance, Chill. They don't have a chance.
It is going to give them a better chance, but on no level are the Golden State Warriors complacent. They're not. The Golden State Warriors didn't go into Houston and go, all right, we just came in here to get a game. No, they trying to close the door on this Houston Rockets team. They want to end this thing. They 100% want to end this. But back to Mars's point about Fred VanVleet, as bad as he is, as bad as Jalen Green is, I'm thinking to myself, if this team is, if these guys are this bad against this team, now we're in a space where the stakes are even higher. The stakes are even higher. They've been bad against this team the entire season. What makes me think, because I'm a history guy, what makes me think that now we're in the playoffs, this is going to change? What makes me think that? I didn't know they were that bad against them, and I watched them during the season. I watched them play against the Rockets during the season, and I didn't know that they were that bad against them. I did not know that. And if they're that bad, there's no reason for me to think that.
All right, y'all. We got to switch gears because we got 7 more series to talk about. Yeah. Manny, I know you wanted to talk about that series, but I'm gonna let you kick this one off. Sorry, Swiper. I was gonna start with you, but
we're talking about the Nuggets and Clippers now.
Nuggets and Clippers, man. Talk to me. Kick it off. What'd you see in this first game one?
Clippers in 6, man. Clippers in 6, and I say Clippers in 6 just because I previously didn't have faith in them, just because they do what they always do in the postseason. Every time they get there, they end up losing. They underachieve. And while I think this was an incredible game, probably the best game that we witnessed over the weekend between the Nuggets and Clippers, man, I still see the Clippers end up being able to take control. They were there with the Nuggets. It just so happens Nuggets really closed this game out in a great fashion. I mean, Russ hit some huge shots that helped them down the stretch, but seeing Kawhi, I mean, he looked good out there at a lot of stretches in the games. Harden looked good, made some big shots down the stretch too. It just so happened the dice didn't roll their way toward the end of the game. And really, I ain't even going to say the dice didn't roll their way. Really, the Nuggets just took this one. This was a win that they needed, and it's going to go back and forth, but I think Clippers going to mess around and end up winning this series for sure.
All right. Swiper.
Push come to shove.
You believe Clippers in 6 too?
I mean, I picked them Clippers in 6 to start the series, but I think the problem that I'm coming to terms with that is if the Nuggets, as they did, which they did to their credit, the reason why I picked them is the Nuggets floor, as everybody knows, defensively has been horrible this year. They cannot beat the Wizards when they're playing at their worst, but they can also beat anybody in the league when they're playing at their best defensively, which is like high energy, extreme physicality. And they did that from the second half on. They had a 107 defensive rating yesterday, and they had an 88 defensive rating in the second quarter. Like, they just clamped. And I think what Ox talked about with the way he loves the basketball game being played. Like, the Nuggets, when they play physical, they have more physical players than you do, typically. Brown is a physical player. Murray, for a guard, is a physical player. Russ is very physical. AG is very physical. Jokic is very physical. So, like, their whole strategy is you're not going to beat us up. And again, Jokic was horrible in the first quarter, which is why I'm saying that. Like,
he wasn't horrible.
No. Objectively, he was horribly defensively. Like, it was one of the worst quarters of the season for Jokic defensively. Now, some of this was,
it was a mid quarter for Jokic.
Yeah, even the game. This was
that was the average Jokic quarter.
Yeah, this wasn't even like a great Jokic game. This was a decent game. I don't think he was like spectacular, and he was still really good. But from the middle of the second quarter though to the end of the game, Ox, Mars, Chill, Manny, Ron, they were spectacular defensively. And this is with MPJ, Murray, and Westbrook shooting 13 of 41 from the field. Like, there's upside for Denver here. Like, their offense didn't really get into it. Jokic missed some bunnies yesterday, including 2 missed free throws in that game. Like, there are multiple things that the Nuggets legitimately didn't have go their way, and they still won a game. And by the way, the same thing the Lakers did was showing a new defensive strategy versus the Nuggets just a couple months ago when everybody was kind of like going off about the Lakers and their defense, which is, by the way, very mid, which we'll talk about a little bit later. The Clippers, they played the first time I've ever seen this, Ox. I have never seen another team not just double off of Russ. They were doubling the 2-man game off of Russ, meaning not just Murray. When Jokic caught the ball at the top of the key, they sent a double from Dunn. They literally said that once you cross half court, last 5 minutes of the game, we're doubling the action every single possession off of Russ. And they showed their hand, like that was their Rui adjustment. They showed their hand, I think, in the first game in the fourth quarter, and I think the Nuggets will have 100% adjustments versus that in game 2. I think game 2 is where all the marbles are on the line. I'm not gonna lie.
You think Ty Lue shows that again with no adjustments? You think he just goes straight back to that?
Well, I think the thing is, I don't know if Russ closes next game, right? Because if MPJ plays better, let's say he has a better showing, right? You're not doubling off of Porter or Gordon or Brown, maybe Brown, but even then, like Brown has shown, like as a driver, finisher, slasher, he's one of the best in the league this year, and he's creating contact at the rim. Because remember, Ox, the other thing that was so crazy, y'all, chill. The low men in the last 5 minutes of the game for the Clippers was Harden and Norman Powell.
Mm-hmm.
They had no rim protection on the court, none. Russ just couldn't make layups yesterday. No rebounding or nothing. So that's why Russ and Aaron Gordon had all the ball. Russ could not make a layup. They shot 44% on layups as a team.
Russell Westbrook, bro.
He blew a lot of bunnies.
Even Jokic missed layups.
But I think that's going to be the difference, though, come game 2. Like, I feel like that's what will determine what we see Ty Lue do is if they're making these shots and making these open threes, because you got a lot of players on Denver Nuggets who was broke, missing threes. So if they come out and they're torching, letting it fly, then I don't think we'll really see much of the double team and stuff like that. But, you know, if they have a bad shooting night, then we'll see the adjustment accordingly. But
also, and just to follow this, I think Kawhi Leonard is like, if you want to win with Kawhi Leonard, ISO versus Aaron Gordon or Christian Brown with Jokic weak side, live with it. Like that Nuggets are completely content with that. They would rather him have the ball than James Harden.
Like we'll let you 30 piece and call it a day.
Yeah, I think within that game though, it's like you look at not only the offensive rebound, but it's hustle plays. There was a lot of loose balls, long rebounds that Norman Powell was like a foot away from, just moved too slow. You know what I'm saying? There was a couple plays like that where the game is over if you secure that offensive rebound, if you get that loose ball, if you take care of the basketball. As far as just the X's and O's, the surface basketball level things, I think the Clippers won that basketball game. But as far as the things in basketball that really matter, you know what I'm saying? The things that we know are really happening on that court. Clippers got their asses kicked. You know what I'm saying? And that was the difference. You can't James Harden have such a good game. You can't stand. And James Harden is very familiar with Russell Westbrook. Very familiar. You know what I'm saying? They've been doing this together for 20 years. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You cannot stand next to Russell Westbrook on the box and see that shot go up and not hit him. You got to hit him as soon as
running from the 3-point line. Wow,
as soon as
James Harden.
Not even real quick though. Not even running. I'm talking about when they're standing right next to each other. As soon as that ball leaves his hands, you hit him.
Going for it.
I mean, you don't think about it. James Harden does. You don't even think about going to get the rebound yourself. You put your body on him because you have to know, James. You have to know this is Russell Westbrook, and that's how he's making a living at this point. Hustle plays, getting offensive rebounds. Because there's no other reason to have him in the game. You know, with all due respect, you know what I'm saying. Russell Westbrook and Aaron Gordon, they won that basketball game as far as those things. I'm not saying carried the squad or any of that type of stuff. Just fill me on those things that really matter, bro. Like they did that, and for you can't have mental lapses. You can't be the Clippers. They have to gang rebound. I'm talking about all five. We got to gang rebound. We got to get to the glass. We got to get after loose balls. So for those reasons, I think this is a pretty evenly matched up series, and it's going to be exciting. I do have the Clippers in 6, maybe 7, but I think that was the best game that I saw, and I think it has the potential to be the best series for sure.
When you rely a lot on tough shot making, I mean, that's a recipe for disaster. And I feel like Jamal Murray, that's one of the main reasons why he was off balance this whole game, because a lot of the shots, I didn't see anything clean from Jamal Murray in that game. A lot of the stuff that he was shooting, it was contested. A lot of the stuff that he was shooting, it was people I didn't really see anything clean from him.
Well, they played drop a couple times and he burned them on the 3, but
I didn't see a lot of stuff clean. The majority of the shots that he shot, it looked like he had a hand in his face. He had somebody all over him. And when you rely a lot on tough shot making, it's going to be hard for that to go on throughout the course of the game. I say that to say, when I'm watching the Clippers, as good as their defense is, the Nuggets do have Joker, who is arguably the best passer in the game. That offense is actually good when it's operating the way it can. So we have to get easier looks. The way we get easier looks is we got to get action off the ball. And I didn't really see much of that. And I think that the Clippers did a really good job in taking MPJ out of the game because he's a long ball shooter. So with him being a long ball shooter and you taking him out of the game, and by the way, Swiper, I dig Coach Adelman. You got this amount of time. If you're not getting it done, I got to get somebody else on the floor. I'm not going to waste a lot of time with you. I'm not going to live and die with you going 3 for 20 or 4 for 20. No. One of two things is going to happen. You either going to play and you're going to get busy, or I'm going to get somebody else out here. I can appreciate that. But I think that off the basketball, I think that they need to get more action so we can get cleaner looks to put that Clipper defense on its heels. And I don't think that was going on against the Clippers. Now, Ox, I know how you feel about Kawhi Leonard, and I'm not slandering Kawhi Leonard at all. I'm enjoying the ride, 100%. That's all I'm doing. I'm enjoying the ride. But to Swiper's point, if I get Kawhi Leonard on Aaron Gordon late in the game, not even late in the game, the last 5 minutes of the game, and he doing it, you got it. Absolutely, brother. I tip my cap to you. I'm gonna live with him doing that. I'm gonna live with him doing that. No question about it.
I think both teams is happy with that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like at the end of the game, I think the Clippers will live with that.
Oh, they're praying that you don't trap Kawhi.
I'm not talking about trapping. Just that one-on-one Aaron Gordon versus Kawhi Leonard. That's not a trap. I think both teams are happy with that. So that's respect to Aaron Gordon for sure. I think the Nuggets are like, yeah, we'll live, and I think the Clippers are feeling the same way. So I think that's fine. Yeah. I'm not here trying to cap for Kawhi. I think he made some mistakes that were costly. You know what I'm saying? Like Kawhi got to play better, but the thing about it is like we all know Kawhi can play better. So it's not like, oh man, what are we gonna do about Kawhi Leonard? Like Kawhi can take care of the basketball. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. Yeah. Other than that, I think he did pretty well. I'm curious to know, like, do y'all think like the defense they're playing just completely just ignoring Russell Westbrook? And he hit that big three. But just completely ignoring Russell Westbrook like that. Like, does that affect him in this series? Like game 3, game 4, going back to LA? Like does Russ? Like is Russ going to try to overcompensate due to that, or
he did?
I was about to say that too, Ox.
I hope not. I hope it doesn't affect him too much. I kind of look at Russell Westbrook with this Denver Nuggets team, kind of how when a couple years ago when Bruce Brown was on the Nuggets, the same role. I look at it like a similar role. Cleanup man. You go grab some rebounds. You go get open. Get the easy cut baskets. Go back door. Get the easy layups. Rebound. Push the pace. Pass. Easy three. I kind of look at him to play that same role, and I think he's done a great job at playing that role instead of trying to bite off too much and kind of overcompensate on the offensive end. Like I see him doing a lot of simple things.
5 of 17 is still really bad. Like,
not only that, but you got to remember who we're dealing with here, though. You got to remember who we're dealing with. We're dealing with Russell Westbrook. He only plays at one speed, and Russell Westbrook's mind also is only going at one speed. So
it's 100% all the time,
right? And if he sees the defense leaving him open, he automatically thinks, "Oh, this is a complete disrespect to me. I'm going." Well, that's a recipe for disaster for him.
That's and maybe it is. But also too, I think that's where Adelman comes in, where he's like, okay, Russ, you doing a little too much. Come sit down for a second. Or it's like the game not working.
They couldn't though because MPJ was a no-show. So that's the other side of it. Like,
I don't think we're gonna see that happen too often, though, man. Yeah, MPJ, he might have a couple bad games, but I would take my risk of having MPJ out there. And him being a factor, a worry on the floor, than Russell Westbrook stinking it up. Because if Russ is out there,
if you have MPJ on the floor those last 3 minutes instead of Russ, I think y'all lose the basketball game.
Well, that's the thing. Like,
Manny, you said you don't think MPJ is gonna play that bad. How do you know that?
I mean, you don't, but
you're betting Jalen Green versus. Never mind. That's what I'm saying.
How do you know that?
MPJ doesn't have a history of being that bad against the Clippers.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to.
MPJ has his stinkers too.
But Jalen Green has a career as a stinker scorer. Period.
I tell you this: shooter, shoot. MPJ is a shooter. He's a certified shooter. He got the green light to let it fly as much as he wants. I'll accept that.
But
and he's got the track record to prove, like, hey, I shoot and it shit go in.
To your point, though, if MPJ is the thing with them is shot conversion. If MPJ or Russ is converting open looks or whatever, then I don't think it's not even a game going in overtime, because at that point they're actually making those shots. I think the reason why the Russ thing is so difficult, Russ also did win them the game on the margins with the offensive rebounding, the defensive plays. But Russ is offsetting that with, like, I saw Mars put the tweet out like, what's going through Russ's head on that layup? And I asked in the comment, which one? Like, because that's the thing. Like, Russ going 5 for 17 is like that's
he just plays so fast.
I know.
It's just going all the time with him. Like, he doesn't know how to slow himself down. Right. It's just
looks pretty elementary.
It's always
it can be helpful sometimes, but also, like, I think it depends on the coach to be able to scale it. Like, sometimes you need the guy to just be in there full speed all the time. Because like for them hustle points and grabbing the loose balls and stuff like that, like it's helpful. It is helpful end of the game, or even playing defense, grabbing rebounds. But sometimes this is why I say it depends on the coach. You got to know how to scale it, because it can be hurtful. If you try to slow the game down and you trying to, really run an offense a certain way, you can't really have him be into those type of shots. But it's like it's your give and take with Russell Westbrook.
If he goes 8 for 16 tonight, they probably win by 8 or 10 points.
Yes, they win going away. And Russ is one of those guys who is, when he's doing those things effectively, he's so good that you cannot not have him on the floor, and you cannot risk not having him out there. You can't do that because he's so good at getting on the glass. But he'll also throw the ball in the second row, right? He'll also make a wide open three in the meat and potatoes of the game. So Russ is so hot and cold with those things, but you cannot not have him on the floor.
That last possession in regulation when they doubled the 2-man game and then Russ had the ball and didn't drive and didn't want to take the three. That's the other stuff. I was just like,
oh my God.
Yeah, I'm just, it's just like, just give the ball back to Joker, let him do a spot up three. I mean, it's just little stuff. Like, it's just sometimes I think he over processes what's happening in front of him. And I think if he was just, when he's able to slow it down and make, because most of his shots are open, y'all. Like,
sure.
I think the number in his shot, he was on 3-point shots today. He had an average of 10 feet of space on the 3-point attempts yesterday.
They're consciously leaving him wide open, clearly leaving him wide open. Now, I do have to say, to Coach Lou's point, I mean, we might have to get Ben Simmons out of the lineup. I don't know if Ben Simmons is going to be able to play in this series.
Well, they have to play him though.
Swiper, we cannot have a guy on the floor who doesn't look at the basket at all. We can't have that. He's not helping us at all, Swiper. I can appreciate us running real quick, Ron. I can appreciate us running the offense through him and him being a facilitator. But if he's not going to look at the basket or try to get downhill to do something at the rim at all, it's 4-on-5. It's completely 4-on-5, and he's not helping us at all. I don't know if I don't know if he should be on the floor at all. I don't.
All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and change gears. We got another series that we're going to get into. I'm sure the media cartel is going to love this one. But before we get into the Lakers and Wolves series, I do want to let you guys know that we're going to be on Playback tonight, watching the Pistons and the Knicks. So y'all be sure to pull up so we can see whether we're going to get a Cade masterclass or if we're going to get a Jalen Brunson masterclass or if we're going to get both. BOFF, right, Morris? All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into this next series. We got the Lakers and we got the Wolves. The Wolves put it on the Lakers, 117-95, and Anthony Edwards didn't really even have his best game. He was 8 for 22 from the field. He only had 22 points. He did have 9 assists. Jaden McDaniels, 25 points. He came up big. Julius Randle, 16 points. Dante DiVincenzo, 9, and Oz Reed off the bench with 23. And then Bron and Luka, well, LeBron only had 19 points. Wasn't his best game, obviously. Luka, 37 points. He had a pretty efficient game, but the Lakers came up short. Mars, I'm going to start with you, my man. Thoughts on this series?
I think it's going to be an interesting series. Game 1 was cool. The Lakers lost because of transition, in my opinion. They got destroyed in transition. I think that's the big part of the reason why they lost. I mean, I think the go-to is game 1, feel-out game. That's the go-to when you have LeBron James on your team. So I guess the Lakers are allowed to start by losing home court. But I think some of the concerns with the Lakers defense, I do think just showed in terms of how they have to guard in isolation against the elite attackers because they lack personnel. Austin Reeves was getting hunted crazy. Luka was getting hunted as is to be expected. LeBron was not good. You can't afford to have games where LeBron and Reeves aren't good, and I don't think either one of them were good. The Wolves seemed comfortable just letting Luka isolate, which is something I've been trying to get teams to do for a while. Not because Luka's not a great scorer. He had like damn near 40. But if you force Luka to play one-on-one, I think you just live with the results of what the rest of the offense is going to do. And the Lakers coaching didn't seem to adjust to the fact that the Timberwolves were conceding isolations. They kind of just let it happen. So don't think it was a well-coached game from the Lakers at all. don't think it's an indictment on them as a team. I don't think they're going to just get swept in the series. I'm not going to overreact like that. But I think last night, when was the game? Last night, 2 nights ago,
Saturday.
Showed that the Wolves have an avenue to win this series. It's not just, the Lakers going to win. They're going to see whoever wins out of Golden State, Houston. The Wolves have a serious avenue to win this series. The offensive rebounding was a problem, especially after the first quarter, where the Wolves realized, hey, we're bigger than this team. Let's just actually get some rebounds. And then they dominated on the margins. Like I said, transition, offensive rebounds, those are 2 ways in which you can really just bully this Lakers team. And then when they aren't executing the half court in their own right, you end up with a 20-point blowout. Now, the Wolves shot abnormally well from 3. They did get some good looks, but abnormally well from 3. That's going to come back down to earth, obviously. But that just explains a blowout verse.
Every one of their threes was registered by at least open on 2 days ago, by the way. So like it will come down, but they were like all of them were
they generated good looks. So like
right.
I'm not like, oh, they only won because they shot the 3 well. They shot the 3 amazingly well. But if they don't shoot the 3 amazingly well and they just shoot at average, that just changes the game from a blowout to a good win. Like that's the difference. It's not between winning and losing. It's the difference between blowing you out and then winning relatively comfortably. So
sure.
The Lakers have things that they have to change. The Wolves also have things that I think they can attack and be even better at. So I think it's going to be a very interesting series. I think pre-series I had the Lakers in 5. I still think that's possible, but I also see the avenue in which the Wolves win the series. So I think.
But Mars, how much of that though? Like I really genuinely asking this question. To me, this was the Wolves series versus Denver last year. This was the Celtics series versus the Mavericks last year. How much is it though that like the Lakers have 5 guys on their roster for real, 5 guys, Rui and DFS outside the big 3, right? And you can put Gabe Vincent in that if you want. But the Wolves have like
8, 9.
But I'm saying that's a big not like think about Nas, Dante, let me just say Nas, Dante off the bench. And then you get Randall, Jaden, Conley, and then you get Rudy Gobert. And then outside of that, you get Gilgeous-Alexander, Walker. And then if you keep going, there's still other guys for them. And I'm saying, Mars, how much is it though that
18?
We can put at least 4 real NBA players, at least, and then 5 minutes. Let's just say 5 every single possession. Where the Lakers, once they get out of their small ball 5, that the Wolves are better at than their small ball 5, and we can put Rudy Gobert on the court. How much of that is that's just over a 7-game series? It's going to be really hard to beat that.
It's definitely going to be really hard. The Lakers have way less lineup flexibility. And we've seen in Jackson Hayes played 10 minutes.
Right.
Played 8 minutes.
That's their only big, and they went away from that basically instantly. And they were just relying on the small ball lineups, and then they ended up getting pummeled on the glass. And it's crazy because if you go small, you're meant to be fast, but then they're getting destroyed in transition.
Right.
And then the Wolves can also combat that by going small themselves with Julius Randle and Nas Reed at the 4-5. So it's it's small, but you have 2 guys who are 6'10" out there. So it's
and fast. And Nas Reed run, man, and he can push the floor and everything. So I think that's what makes them so special there. And then, like you keep saying, the size over the Lakers, the size advantage is because literally any lineup that the Lakers want to combat them with, Minnesota can make the adjustment and be like, okay, we'll still grab rebounds, we'll still be physical, we can still play 1v1, we can still protect the paint. So it's just, I feel like honestly, it comes down to the Wolves just being a matchup nightmare.
Manny, and they might be able to take Austin Reeves out of the series, Manny. Maybe. I'm saying they might be able to. I'm not saying they will. Possibly, they might be able to.
What do you mean, Mike? Stay right there. Keep going.
Manny, I'm saying, Austin Reeves is good enough to be productive, Manny, but they can legitimately say, okay, Nikhil, Jaden, Nas, whoever.
Yep.
Go ahead and just go guard them. Yep. And then now, we're switching everything, and you're not just going to keep. And even if you beat us, I still got people in the paint showing hands. Right.
Literally. So I think it's a matchup nightmare for the Lakers right now. And man, it's scary because they are such a deep team. And also they can score any type of way. They can score in the paint. They're a good 3-point shooting team. They can knock down shots. And not just Anthony Edwards. The only difficult thing and the only chance I really give the Lakers is the fact that they got LeBron, the smartest basketball player probably to ever touch a basketball. It's that's the only reason why I'm this game still, or this series still may go the distance, because beating LeBron in any playoff series is not going to be easy, and it's going to be tough. You're going to have to play damn near perfect games each time you play, or at least close it perfectly.
Absolutely. That part out. That
Chill, how would you change up your defense if you were the Lakers? Because they've been known for packing the paint since February 10th when they got Luka. That's how they win. They pack the paint, they allow threes because they have no choice, right? How would you want to vary up? Because and also what they're doing, Chill. Raj, shout out Raj on NBA Twitter, by the way, shared a bunch of clips from the Lakers defense. When Luka's guarding in space, they're automatically helping on the drives because they feel like they have to. Like they're trying to. They don't want to get beat at the rim consistently, so
almost
they
like a funnel,
convert.
almost like a soft funnel. But keep going.
Right.
I'm listening to
but
you.
then now the 3-point shooters for Minnesota's open, and so what people are saying, and maybe even me a little bit, they're just going to have to let Luka get beat. If he gets beat, he gets beat. How would you? Because they're going to put Luka in every action, and then if it's not Luka, it's Reeves.
Sure.
How would you change up what they're going to do defensively to counteract? Like, do you go more zone? Like, do you play more like box and one with Ant? What would you do?
Well, the first thing I want to do is the half court stuff that you talked about. I want to get on what Miles talked about, which is the transition stuff. Minnesota is they weren't a good transition team, but they were out in transition and doing great against the Lakers. So I want to start there. We got to slow them down. They got whatever they wanted in transition, whether it was Naz Reid stopping at the long ball line, Mike Conley causing turnovers and cracking threes at the long ball line. We got to slow these guys down in transition. So the way I want to start that is I want to get some more point of attack defenders to slow these guys down in transition. Yes, Gabe Vincent is going to have to play more. He's going to have to play more in terms of slowing these guys down in transition. Guys like Rui, he's going to have to find more pickup points for Julius Randle because Julius Randle is one of their primary ball handlers in transition when he takes the ball off the glass. That pickup point has to be a lot higher. Now, when we get into the half court, when we get into the half court, I'm asking Luka, you have to give me some effort. Now, sure, there's help behind you, there's help on the side of you, but you have to force these guys into different spaces. These guys can't just get right down the gut. No, because we're soft in the middle and we're small and we don't have that kind of rebounding that you guys have, like Rudy, like Julius Randle, like Naz Reid. We don't have that. So what I have to do with Luka is I got to get Luka to, if he's going to funnel, he's got to funnel hard. He's got to funnel soft, where if a guy's coming down the gut, right? If a guy's coming down the gut, you got to thwart him to the left. So I'll concede threes. And the reason why I'm conceding threes, Swiper, because I don't think that they're going to make 21 threes and shoot 50.
But they're one of the best shooting teams in the league, though, Chill.
Even if that's true.
Top 5 3-point shooting team.
And you know what? I'm going to have to live with that thing.
Damn.
If Minnesota's going to beat me, they're going to beat me with Anthony. They're going to beat me with Anthony Edwards. They're going to beat me with Naz Reid and Alexander Walker at the long ball line all night. You know why? Because when they're getting in the paint like that and our defense collapses, if they're getting in the paint like that and they're getting to the rim, we got no shot. At least I can get to 3-point shooters and put hands up on 3-point shooters. But if they're just getting if they're just getting to the gut because we don't have any protection at the paint, if they're just getting there, then I have nothing. So would you rather?
So you think in particular Luka and Reeves and even LeBron as the POA defender?
Yep.
Do you feel like they should just play like further off and we're just gonna try to bait you to as many pull-up threes as possible, basically?
I'm gonna if I have to give up something, right? If I have to give up something, it sounds to me like a pick your poison kind of thing. And as good as Minnesota is as a long ball team, I'm gonna have to pick that poison. Because what's going to happen is, again, if you get into the lane, that's going to exacerbate the three because my defense is going to get collapsed and you're going to get even more threes. What I don't want to do, right? What I don't want to do is I don't want to put them in space where they're just getting easy looks. Naz Reid just was looking at the basket. It didn't really seem like he got a lot of resistance at the long ball line.
But even defensively though, but Chill, we talked about it. Nikhil and Jaden. Nas, even Nas can be confident defensively because of like what's around him.
Sure.
But Ron, Rudy Gobert's on the court. He's locking everything down. And he did that. Yeah, he did that 2 days ago. He did.
I didn't let y'all do this for too long.
Stop, Ron. Stop it, Ron.
I'm gonna start with Austin Reeves.
He's damn good on the defensive
he
end.
is. I'm not knocking Rudy. But Luka don't give a damn about Rudy.
Okay,
James don't give a damn about Rudy Gobert.
I said the team.
And you brought up Austin Reeves, Swiper. Austin Reeves, they not sitting on Austin Reeves either. Hey, look, check this out. I'm not gonna say too much. Ant-Man, Gucci Man, Joanna Man,
Lakers
in 6. No, 6. They are not.
I don't know, man.
JJ Redick gonna make his look. JJ Redick gonna make his little adjustments.
Ron, what
Jackson Reeves,
what do you think?
Jackson Hayes got to play more than 8 minutes. He gonna make a few adjustments.
You don't have to.
Next game's gonna look completely different.
But you know what Rudy's gonna do playing off of Jackson Hayes, though, my dog?
What's he gonna do?
Be more.
How you gonna score? How you gonna score if Jackson Hayes is sitting there and you run in the pick and roll? Rudy gonna play drop. And Rudy's again. I'm not talking about like a. I ain't talking about like a Jokic drop, a real drop, like a real.
Do you know what Luka Doncic is gonna do?
That's cool. Get 37.
No. I'm gonna come off and I'm gonna start blowing your head off first. Then I'm gonna come off.
37 points.
Then I'm gonna come off and I'm gonna start playing around, slow pacing into the lane, trotting in there. James Harden lob. Jackson Hayes.
Over who?
Rudy can't. He can't contest Luka and stop the lob too. What are you gonna jump twice?
That's what drop coverage is. That's like you literally can do both.
Okay, so when Luka probes to the rim and goes in for a layup, is he just gonna give Luka the layup, or is he gonna step up and stop him?
I know you're not just scoring a layup on Rudy. No, but
my point. So is he gonna contest the layup, or is he gonna contest the lob?
You're talking about one specific thing. And again, I want to say this. My whole point of picking the Lakers was I do think the games are going to be tight. Having LeBron, Reeves, and Luka does matter, Ron. Last 5 minutes of the game, I agree. But Ron, if we down 12 before we get there, like I'm saying, Ron, that's a problem. And I don't even. Julius Randle had his best playoff game ever, according to Mars, which is true. He has 7 turnovers. Like it's not like they were getting the chance, but when it came to the other end, they literally could not score outside of Luka, and LeBron got strapped. Strapped.
That's the point I'm making.
5 for the 3-point line.
So LeBron in the seatbelt all series.
I don't think so.
He in the back seat in the car seat all series.
I don't think so. But I'm saying, but how do they guard? How are they going to guard the Wolves? That's what it's coming down to.
You want to know how they guard the Wolves?
Yes.
Now I sat here and watched you guys slander Jalen Green, Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, and everybody on the Rockets.
I don't think anyone said anything about Dylan Brooks, to be fair.
They didn't, and I mean he should have got benched, but either way it goes, he's on that team and he never got brought up, so he was getting slandered too. They are not respecting Jaden McDaniels. And Jaden's my guy. He from right down the street. They're not Jaden McDaniels. If you are going to score 25 points and go 3 for 3 from 3 and 11 for 13 from the field, you see what I'm saying?
Okay, but
Rudy go there too.
Watch him cook, Ron.
Julius Randle. I mean, I hope he cooks. Jaden McDaniels my guy.
What they're not expecting. And neither do the Lakers. They don't expect this dude to knock down threes all night and knock down the mid-range all night. But Minnesota does expect him to make shots. 100% they do
expect him to shoot shots.
They expect him to make shots. With him making shots, what cancels out is I told you, Ron, you and I had a conversation about this Thursday. Ron, we taking Austin Reeves out the series.
No, they're not.
Them 22,
they're not.
25. We taking him out the series.
Right,
when Ant covers him, when Alexander Walker covers him, we taking him out the series. And you know what else we doing? And I know that this may sound crazy to you. We getting James into action. 100% we putting James into action.
They probably
because we get James into action. James is dying on screens. James is not fighting over screens. James is giving you 3-4 seconds of defense, and then he's out. 100% we putting James into action. We putting Luka into action as much as possible, and we taking Austin Reeves out of this series. That's why I wanted to put Anthony Edwards on him right from the beginning.
Well, the Lakers just switch everything.
They're going to have to switch up.
Okay, so with the here's the thing though. Here's the thing though, Mars. We anticipate you switching everything, and with us anticipating you switching everything, that's where we mismatch hunt, right? We just because you switching everything, that doesn't mean that we can't still go after you. No, we know where you're switching, we know how you switching, and 100% we're gonna do that with Austin Reeves. We're gonna do that with LeBron James. 100% we're gonna go after. And I want to continuously put James into action. Yes, I do.
I think it comes down.
You mean a player having a bad defensive year, keep playing, put him in action?
I want to put him in the act. Yes, I do. Get James in the action.
He's also their best outside rim protector. So
which is a problem, Mars.
Yeah, so if you have him on the ball, then you're also needing rim protection. So it's
get James in the action because now you guys are soft in the paint, and rebound is definitely a problem. And let's not forget to mention, guys, they got nothing from their rotation guys. Nothing.
Who? Gabe Vincent? I think this
They
is
have
horrible.
like 4 NBA players on the roster.
They got nothing from their rotation guys, and I feel like Minnesota did a great
Bronny
job.
To come in and do
Gonna have
something.
to give Bronny his glory.
Yeah, I seen Bronny minutes. Like what we like,
They ain't got much
they
coming
got
up.
Hey,
May-
Rui and
like
DFS need to
5.5
average 35
NBA
minutes a
players.
game in
They
this
got
series.
like
Both of them.
5.5 NBA players on that team. Like
It's a matchup nightmare, man. It's a matchup nightmare. I really think Wolves is just a matchup nightmare for the Lakers on both sides of the ball. Because they can
It might end, Ron, I'm
score.
telling you, it might end up being that. Like, it really might end up being that, bro. I'm not
That's
gonna
what it
lie.
looked like game one. And I ain't gonna sit here and be like, oh, well, Wolves is about to win in 4 now. Like, I still think Wolves in 6. Lakers gonna probably get a couple games, but it's just looking like a matchup nightmare because
Like even they don't have to double Luka, Braun, or Reeves. Like they don't have to.
they can literally just send
Just
one
switch.
person in.
Right,
Like,
and then do your best.
I'm comfortable because for Luka to get what he was getting, like him getting downhill, I expect that from Luka. From Luka to get the shots that he was getting, I expect that from Luka. I'm conceding Luka's production, Mars. Right? I'm conceding his production, Ron. I'm okay with that. What I can't handle is Austin Reeves getting wide open looks. Austin Reeves one-on-one just going at Alexander Walker. And I love the fact that they were not allowing him to do that. I'm going on record saying this again to you, Ron. We taking Reeves out the series. We taking him out of the series.
Nikhil,
That's gonna be the deciding factor.
Good luck.
We are taking him out. I know James is going to get busy. I know at some point James is going to turn it on. I'm confident that he's going to turn it on. Austin Reeves, we're taking him out of the series. He's done.
Feel like games.
all I know is LeBron tried to put Rudy Gobert. He tried to put Rudy Gobert on an island, and he tried to take Rudy to the rim. And Rudy was like, "Freeze." I'm just telling you, man. Like Rudy got bad reputation because he get beat every so often, bro. You know what I mean? Now he's not the Jokic stopper late game, obviously, as Austin said. But I'm telling you, man, like Rudy is special, bro. I'm tired of people hating on Rudy, man. Like that, he's good, chill, and he played. His minutes were dominant.
The one thing I say about Rudy, I feel like his defensive player of the years is fluke and all of that. But I will say he gives effort, and like that's defense. That is defense. Effort.
What year was a fluke?
Oh,
don't say 21.
Yo, we don't got time to get into this, y'all.
2018.
Look, I thought that was the same.
We got to get on to the next series. And Manny, you should be happy about this. And everybody in the chat, Cowboy Bob, we getting into the Knicks versus the Pistons. Well, as you guys know, the Pistons came to hoop.
Yes, they did.
They was on the Knicks for 3 quarters. And then the 4th quarter came, and then the Knicks showed their experience and so did the Pistons. But shout out to, Cade had 21 and 12. Tobias Harris was hooping. He had 25. On the other end, Karl Anthony Towns, 23 and 11, and Jalen Brunson, 34 points. Manny, I'm going to kick you to rock because you are a Pistons guy.
Yeah. I'll gladly take the rock right now, man. I'm confident on Pistons in 6. I think, first game is always going to be the fill out game. And obviously Pistons showed that they can hang with the Knicks. They showed that they can beat the Knicks, but it came down to just closing the game out. They closed it very poorly. I feel like they got excited in the end of the 3rd quarter. It was up like 12 points, 10 points, whatever it was. And they went on a good run and then got excited and ended up blowing the game, which is not good. But ultimately, I give credit to the Knicks for, like you said, they showed their experience. Pistons showed their experience. Not having much playoff experience was what they displayed. And I think it does get better from here because they can clearly beat the Knicks and they can clearly hang with them defensively and offensively. But some other aspects I noticed in this game is they gave up a 21-0 run, which really decided the game in the 4th quarter. But Cade also had a bunch of turnovers. He didn't play his best game. And from when I'm watching this, after watching Cade all season, he honestly had a bad game. A bad night for him in this game against the Knicks. Happened to just still be 21 points and 12 assists. But it was a bad game because he had so many turnovers. And ultimately that led to the Knicks going on that huge run. But I think Pistons limit the amount of turnovers that they had, especially in that 4th quarter. Then we definitely see something different. But I'm not really too bothered by this game here. This was something they gave it away, and credit to the Knicks for going ahead and stealing it, running away with it. But I think Pistons still going to take this in 6 games.
Yo, shout out to Tobias Harris showing up in the playoffs. I like what I saw from Tobias Harris.
Oh, yeah. Whoa. He did versus Toronto. He did versus Toronto, too. I don't want to hear that. No slander.
5 years ago? 6 years ago?
No. That wasn't that long ago. I'm talking about Toronto a couple years ago. 22
Was that?
Toby been hooping, man.
Wait, Tobias was okay last year versus
he damn near kept the Pistons in the game in this Knicks game. There's a lot of times in the game during the stretch
my issue.
Look at Octane.
Go ahead, Manny.
I just feel like
he go.
I just feel like with this Detroit team, the points are at a premium after Cade Cunningham, right? And I understand that Malik Beasley is one of those few guys that is coming off the bench and giving you. I'm not really getting much from Dennis Schroeder. I'd really like to see some more production out of him than I get.
You know what you got from Derek White though.
I do. You know what I got from Derek White? 100%.
Yeah, where is Drew?
It's a series, man. We'll get there.
Yeah, we'll definitely. But the point that I was making, about Detroit is shout out to Tobias Harris for giving me positive minutes, for him giving me open looks that he can make, for him actually being aggressive as a scorer. This is the guy that Ox had been talking about for years that he thought he could be, and he'll show flashes of that. I think this is going to be a bruising series. I do. That 21-0 run, we can remedy that, right? We can remedy that by getting on the glass.
At that point, Chill, when they started that run?
Yeah, that was it. That was it. And I feel like I feel like that could be remedied by getting on the glass. By getting on, you got an elite rebounder in Jalen Duren. You got another elite rebounder in Isaiah Stewart. So even when you play that double big lineup, I think that you got to get on the glass and slow down the Knicks in that aspect. Now, don't get me wrong. Cat, for all intents and purposes, stretches them out, and he makes things a lot more difficult for Isaiah Stewart than other bigs because he can crack the ball. He can crack the long ball. With that being said, I think that this is going to be a 7-game series. I do.
Yeah, it could be. That's what I had.
I ain't mad at that. It shows. I mean, they both evenly matched. I feel like it's super evenly matched, man. I feel like Knicks can play multiple styles, Pistons can play multiple styles, but the biggest part with the Pistons too, I feel like they need more production from like Malik Beasley stepping, and it really just came to defense at the end of the game. Like just playing defense at the end of the game was what really lost them this game, because they had control the whole time. They was controlling pace, they was controlling the floor, and then defensively they was getting stops. But literally at the end of the third quarter and going into the fourth, that's just when it collapsed. That's when it collapsed, and like. I'm not it's you can fix it. Like you said, it's fixable.
Yeah, it is fixable. No doubt about that. Now, don't get me wrong. We all talk about Tibbs' rotations and how he doesn't play guys. Well, he plays guys. You just got to be productive. You got to be one of those guys. When you come off the bench, you got to give him minutes, because if you come off the bench and you don't give him minutes, he's not going to deal with you, which would explain why Campaign played as much as he did, because he gave him solid minutes. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't expect Campaign, because that shot is a funny looking shot. That's a funny looking shot. But it goes in. Yeah, it went in. And with it going in, all right, with it going in, I mean, it enhanced what they was doing on their bench. No doubt about that. Yeah. I think the Pistons, I don't think that this series is as a wash as some people think. No, I think Asar Thompson has done, contrary to the 34 you saw from Jalen Brunson. If you watch that game, Asar Thompson did a good job on him. He did.
And I think they did a great job as a whole. Like I'm saying, man, as a unit, they did a great job defensively. It was a lot of times in the game. They had the stars out in New York, but the crowd was quiet a lot of times in that game. And literally, they did not turn up until the fourth quarter. And shout out to Campaign, Campaign. He did his thing, man. He popped up that big time run. He had 11 of his 14 points all in the fourth quarter, and I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, but it was. Kudos to him, because he really sparked the momentum up and turned them up in New York. And other than that, though, it was quiet. It was quiet for the most part. And I was loving it.
I just worry about I worry about the points when I'm getting points, when I'm getting buckets from Cade Cunningham, but then the next guy in line is my rotation guy, Malik Beasley. Like, I should be getting more production from my starters. right? I should be getting more points. I shouldn't have to solely rely on Cade to get us buckets. I understand that Detroit all season long has relied a lot on Cade, but I do need more production from these starters. I do.
Yeah, this is facts. I feel like Hardaway Jr. stepped up big time. He was making a lot of shots. He got a lot of easy layups and stuff too. Obviously, Tobias Harris stepped up big time, and he was hooping. And I think offensively, a lot of these guys showed their behind coming up in the game, and it was a solid game. I was happy with it. But usually, one of the things that I've witnessed, at least in the regular season, is a lot more production from Duren. I've seen Duren. He had some more production on the boards of grabbing rebounds and then putting it up there, but he didn't really do much on the glass. And maybe it's because he was handling Karl-Anthony Towns, who's going to pull you outside a little bit. But Duren is usually an easy double-double. He didn't have that this game. So I'm expecting to see that differ a little bit in game 2, see him show up a little bit more. But above all, I'm not upset about what Tim Hardaway Jr. did, what Malik Beasley did. He shot fairly well for the most part. But Hardaway Jr. got to step it up from the 3-point line. But above all, it does come to scoring. Asar is usually a big part in that as well in terms of fast break points. And I think when Pistons are running and getting stops and running in transition, that's kind of when we see everybody flourishing on the offensive end. That's when we see Asar Thompson 16 points, Duren 12, Beasley 20 points, Hardaway Jr. 15. Like that's when we see the spread out numbers on the stat sheet is when they get stops and then running in transition.
Fair enough, yes. And I think that this Detroit Pistons team, I'm not, to be honest with you, Swipe, I'm not expecting 25 a game from Tobias. I'm not expecting that from him.
Yeah, that was
but what I am expecting is I'm expecting him to continuously give me solid performances. And the way to put Asar in spaces where he can score is very much like what was going on in Houston. Like we got he's at his best in transition. We got to speed the game up. And the way we speed the game up, we got to get on the glass, right? We got to get on the glass. We got to hold this Knicks team to one shot. Now, what I can't do is I can't negate how important Mitchell Robinson has been for this crew. This rim protector and this rebounder, they didn't have him in the past. They got him back in the lineup. He's been big for them. He's been able to speed them up. And having a finisher around the rim like that, I'm trying to figure out where, and Mars and I had this conversation about Mikal Bridges. I'm trying to figure out where his defense went. Like he was an elite defender at one point. He wasn't a good defender. He was an elite defender at one point. He dies on screens more often than he doesn't. Not only does he die on screens more often than he doesn't, his closeouts aren't nearly as good as they used to be. His one-on-one, I was equating this dude to Eddie Jones. That's what he reminded me of as a defender. That's what he reminded me. I was like, yo, it's almost like I'm seeing Eddie Jones all over. He gets beat a lot on defense. Not only does he get beat a lot, he gets roughed up. And like this has to change with him. I'm trying to figure out where his defense went because that's who he is primarily. I know he can knock down a mid-range shot, 100%. I know he can do that. But the plus side about the Knicks, and I want to stay on topic here, Ron. The plus side about the Knicks is they're healthy. Like when was the last time the Knicks have been healthy like this? OG on the floor, Cat on the floor, Brunson on the floor, Bridges on the floor. All of these guys are on the floor. When's the last time that they've been healthy like this? That's a really good thing for them.
And I don't want to try to jinx anything. Let's just hope it stays that way because you know how it's going to get. I do want to say this, though. Josh Hart only played. He played 29 minutes and 33 seconds.
Because of foul trouble, but
Mikal Bridges played. I mean, he only finished with three fouls, but I mean,
he had 3 early ones.
Early.
Mikal Bridges, 28 minutes, 44 seconds.
He just
and so with that being said, like Tom Thibodeau went to his bench and they came through. So I mean, shout out to this bench.
Campaign was having such a run though, like
it was Campaign.
Yeah.
I feel like Campaign did enough to support
that shot
performance.
If he get an open shot and he dig that shoulder, Ron, he dig that shoulder and then. That junk is wet, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
That shit look weird as
I
hell.
couldn't believe it, man. I couldn't believe every time.
Like there's the rim right there, but this is him.
I mean, we've been how long Campaign been in the league for? At least 10 years.
8 years.
Something
like
that.
2017 was his first. 2017.
It was. I will say, even though I was hoping to.
That's when he was dancing with Russ. Wasn't it before that?
Russ MVP season, huh? That was his first year.
Was it?
Yeah, it was him, Sabonis. It was him, Sabonis, Oladipo.
Okay, well, with that being said, I'm saying that to say, like, we've been seeing campaigns. This is the first time.
Oh, the year before was his first year.
Yeah, I figured that. Yeah, okay. But either way it goes, we've seen Campaign shoot. We've seen Campaign go on one. I'm not saying that he's, going to be a game changer in this series, even though he did get a game for the Knicks. Yeah. He might not get another game, but I'm saying like we've seen Campaign shoot it out. But my thing, Manny, y'all just have more question marks.
That's my only thing. No playoff experience, and there's no. I feel like
it's not even that.
It is. You got guys that have been in the playoffs. Malik Beasley been in the playoffs. Tobias been in the playoffs. Malik Beasley Toby been in the playoffs. I mean, these guys have been in the playoffs. This isn't something.
The vet.
Yeah, you do have that. Coach Bickerstaff, he's been in the playoffs. He got when he was with.
I remember. Chill. I remember Malik Beasley being on an island versus Portland Trailblazers in 2019 and getting scored on. He supposed to be one of our defensive stoppers. I definitely remember that.
I forgot Malik Beasley played for them.
No, that's where he started. Everybody, that's where he started, bro.
The key pieces, man. He wanted the key pieces.
Out of Florida State, chill. You couldn't have told me Malik Beasley wasn't about to be no star, but that boy could jump, bro. I said, golly. I thought he'd be a two-way monster, bro. I said, Beasley and Gary Harris with Jamal. Oh, yeah, we finna beat 30. And that boy
long ball shooter.
Got traded for nothing to Minnesota.
That's what he turned into a long ball shooter.
Yeah, he definitely long ball shooter now. That's what we play.
Once again, we will be watching the Knicks and the Pistons tonight on Playback. Y'all be sure to pull up. That game is going to be at 7:30 Eastern time, 4:30 Pacific time. We'll be there, so y'all come join us. All right, y'all. Before we dive into the next series, I'm going to go ahead and read some super chats. You guys have been talking to us all show, so let's see what you guys got to say. The first super chat is from Ant MJ 235. And before I read this, make sure you turn on your notification bells, subscribe, and like the video. All right, this is what Ant MJ 235 had to say. He said, Mars, I disagree. The Wolves take on the personality of Ant in the playoffs, maybe more than any other team besides Jokic. Randall even said it. His infectious energy bleeds into the rest of the team. He's the reason they have a chance.
Yep.
It's got nothing to do with what I said. So I said the series is an Ant versus LeBron and Luka. You telling me that the Wolves take the personality of Ant doesn't mean the series is Ant versus LeBron. But that can be true. It's just not relevant to what I said. So I don't know what you're disagreeing with. But
Straw Hat Sale, and we'll get to this series in a second. But he said if Paolo finishes the series and shows he's taken his play to another level once again, how are we speaking about him? Performing in the playoffs against two great defenses has to mean something.
The Cavs for last year were a great defense. I generally don't remember.
Yeah,
they were top. They were top 5 defense. They were top 5 defense.
And Paolo's been good for the last month, and this is just a continuation into it. So,
yeah, Paolo
being a good player, but you got to win in the playoffs. I feel like to enter another level of the conversation of like the greats in the NBA.
Yeah, if your team sucks, I'm not really gonna hold that against you. But
I mean, Bron, I hate to compare. Compare.
I mean, come on, man.
I mean, if the comparison is LeBron James, then I mean, I guess.
But LeBron didn't win anything early in his career either.
Bron was getting his ass kicked in the playoffs too. But now he
lost.
Though,
he lost his first 2 playoffs. Though.
But also
he won the first round. Though.
A lot of people. I mean, look at what Paolo's going up against. Now, last year he took the Cavs to 7. This year he's playing up against arguably the best team in the NBA. We can't hold this against him.
I mean,
if he balls out,
he was the best player in the floor yesterday,
without a doubt. And he was arguably last year against the Cavs. He was arguably the best player in that series too.
Demas kind of went crazy.
Yeah, Demas was going crazy.
But I get your point. Yeah, like Paolo's been great in the playoffs. Last year, I think was interesting the way in which he was great, but he still found a way to be impactful and great.
Boy couldn't make it up.
Yeah, it was interesting that he just decided. I tweeted about it yesterday. Paolo just turns into Kevin Durant when the playoffs come around. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't miss mid-range jumpers. It's just that's what he does.
DNA, more.
Yeah, that's what he does apparently. Last year it was crazy because he was shooting crazy good from mid-range, but then everything inside of like 10 feet he couldn't make. But like this year, I mean, based on the one game I've seen, the mid-range seems to be working. His physicality, the ability to overpower people. Like all of it's there. Like he's putting it all together, which is great. Definitely. He's what, 22, 21?
Yeah, he's a baby.
Yeah, he's still super young. And that's another thing too. He's still super young. So he getting in the playoffs and losing. That's just a part of getting that experience. I feel like all the stars in the league have been through that experience of getting to the playoffs, getting put out early on, and then you come back year 5, year 6, and now you're going on playoff runs.
Well, maybe. Well, not SGA. They're going to win the title this year, probably. Mars, I still stand by what I said last week about the playmaking stuff. I actually would like to see him in a spread out 5-up offense if he was like the main ball handler, play creator. I think he needs to learn that. And I actually think they would, if they had like a real big that could like rim run and shoot a little bit. You know, I know that's
not many of them exist, but
they got to be healthy too, though. Ain't they still missing another center?
They're missing Mo Wagner. They're missing Mo Wagner, Jalen Suggs.
Yeah,
They're missing people.
Yes,
that would be a huge help. So it's like they got to get fully healthy too, and then maybe they'll get some playoff series under their belt.
They're not beating Boston though. Yeah, that's over.
All right, and we'll dive into that game and that series a little bit more here in a second too. But Jay Got Game sent through a $20 super chat. He said, "Dub Knicks, can someone please break down how the Knicks defense made Cade look pedestrian?"
They watched the Nuggets Detroit game, and then they decided. This literally, they watched the Nuggets. They watched the Nuggets Detroit game, and then what did they do, Mars? They played at the level.
It couldn't be Detroit, Boston. It couldn't be Detroit.
They doubled him.
It couldn't be any of those things. No, it had to be the Nuggets against.
No,
Detroit.
yeah, they finally stopped putting Karl-Anthony Towns in a drop. They played him at the level. He did a good job yesterday, and then Cade struggled getting doubled. And
they decided to put OG on him
21
instead
and
of
12
McCall.
is getting locked up like a pedestrian. I don't know what if getting 21 and 12 facing doubles is a pedestrian.
I watched the game. He didn't play well. So shout out to the 21 and 12. Shout out to the box score looking cool.
He didn't play well, and I admitted that he didn't play well.
You can tell me about 21 and 12
on a bad night. Come on,
I wouldn't say
pedestrian.
I would say he was bad. Pedestrian is giving him great.
He was bad. He had a lot of turnovers.
Yeah, so pedestrian is actually a compliment. Yeah,
with that being said, you're playing
38, 8 or 21 is not terrible, Mars. Not terrible.
It's not about the 8 or 21.
I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, he could have handled the heavy coverage.
Mars is not in jerk bag right now. He's like, nah, I'm pissed off.
He needs to run less pick and roll. What he's doing right now, that's not sustainable.
With that being said, though, Mars, how old is Cade? Cade's 23? 23.
Yeah, he's still super young.
This isn't an excuse. This is just me stating the facts. That's you're 23. You're playing against the playoff defense, a defensive coach, Tom Thibodeau, and OG Anunoby is your primary assignment, and they are honing in on you. I'm saying this to say it's going to be a rough ride for Cade, and this is his first playoff series too. I'm saying this to say I can't wait for Cade to either the players around him just to get a little more confident, or for them to just get one more piece over there, so Cade can just get freed up a little bit more.
Well, they can win game 2. I think it's going to be a 7-game series.
They could win game 2, but it's Ivy. When Ivy come back. When Ivy come back, you ain't gonna be able to do all the only focusing on Cade because Ivy is
the point I'm making.
No, you definitely can. But like Jaden Ivey's not relieving pressure. But
Jaden Ivey is the answer. We ain't winning the game in this series. We're not winning.
No, I will say though, when they get Zion,
I ain't saying he the answer. I'm just saying he another player that's gonna put pressure on the defense. Because you got Cade. It's easy to focus on Cade and realize like, okay.
Well, Jaden's not changing that though. I think that's
he's not.
Man. He more explosive. That's literally like another Asar Thompson on the floor. Are you kidding me?
A what?
Yeah,
another
Thompson isn't relieving pressure
on the floor.
Either, so.
Yeah, he had a rough game one, but I mean,
Asar
Jaden Ivey's cool, but that's not going to stop them from blitzing Cade and pick and roll.
Yeah,
like, Jaden Ivey can't blitz. I ain't saying blitz and Steph and Jimmy Butler's out there. So you think Jaden Ivey's going to stop Cade getting blitz?
No, that's not going to happen.
It's gonna help offense overall. I ain't saying they're gonna go to the finals because of Ivy. I'm just saying it's gonna help them in a series because they become more deep. Now you're not looking at certain guys coming off the bench. Ron Holland don't have to get his minutes as a rookie. He ain't got to get me. He barely played, but he ain't gonna have to get as many minutes. If Tim Hardaway Jr. not making shots like he wasn't at one point, you can sit him down on the bench and put a different guy in. So it just gives you a little more options.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, Cade's still got to do better, just handling in ball pressure and blitzes. I would run less pick and rolls personally. I would run less pick and rolls if I'm the Pistons. Just if this how they're going to defend Cade, Cade's got to find other ways to get the ball in spots that he can be impactful. You also just got to get OG off of him. Like he doesn't have the physical advantages against OG as he does against Mikal. Like I would be hunting the Jalen Brunson, the Mikal matchups. That's what I would be hunting if I was Cade. So JB Bickerstaff's got to do a better job of getting Cade in better positions. But Cade has to work on his ability to handle doubles and traps. Like he has to. Like he's not been good at that for his whole.
He look like a deer in headlights, Mars. He does. When he get blitzed, he's like a deer in headlights. As soon as he get the ball, it's like, oh shit, here come the double. I got to get rid of it. And he doesn't
was
come
tough.
get the ball back neither.
They brought a lot of pressure. I ain't seen them look that nervous and that rattled in a long time. But definitely not all regular season. So I mean, this is also that was also his first playoff game ever. It wasn't like he's been around for a long time.
Kind of like a quarterback swiper with happy feet. That's what he looked like when he got
in a way, yeah. But he gonna
salute to Kate and the Pistons though, because they for 3 quarters they look real nice.
Yeah,
And then like when the Knicks finally decided to play playoff defense,
they started the fourth off with a 5-second inbound violation. Like,
it's just a little different.
That's why I say like the experience, the playoff experience. Yeah, they got guys who have playoff experience, but stuff like that, like melting down and giving up a 21-0 run. To me, that's like the playoff experience different. Like an example of a team who's been here and continues to play all through the team that might have got a little happy and then took their foot off the gas. To me, that's the playoff.
Yo, shout out my dude Harrison Fagan, man. He said that you know the Anthony Edwards photo, Ron, where he was pointing to the Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
My dude said, my son should ask me if he can have a blinky like his hero Anthony Edwards. NBA, you have to set an example and suspend him for the rest of the first round, dog.
John Morant do that. Maybe they do suspend him.
You ain't lying. Hey, facts.
Oh my God.
John Morant do that. Maybe he is suspended. So
he out of there. And you missing 4 games next season.
Oh,
all right, I got a members chat from Love Fadina. Love Fadina says, Swiper, how do you feel about MPJ discrediting the chip?
Well, actually, what he said was they didn't feel any pressure. They knew they were beating everyone. But I think that speaks more about how dominant that team was. I think that for me is like what the look back actually is. They were not the favorites in the Sun series. They were split vote going into the Lakers series. They just walked everybody down. So I think that's why people felt the way they felt. People picked the Wolves over them, by the way, in the first round. Like, so there was like a narrative that they were a regular season team. Their defense was going to be trashed because it was 15th on the year, even though it was really 7th from January 1st on. But people didn't really take all that into a credit. And then they lost those 4 games to the Raptors, Nets.
Oh yeah, that March stretch. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, and so that's why the whole rewriting thing. And again, no, Ron especially, definitely not Ron. You would not have respected them more if they would have beat the Grizzlies and the Sacramento Kings instead of the Suns and the Lakers. Nobody would have. Like,
you fight that, Ron?
That part's true. That part always throws me off.
With KD and Brook, Ron, do you fight that?
I would have.
Okay.
That part. Everyone's like, oh, they played these playing teams, but it's like the teams that they would have played if it weren't the playing teams, you would have discredited even more. So
The big thing is no one in the NBA was beating them that year, including the Celtics. Nobody was beating them that year. That was a perfect mix of like everybody was playing. The Celtics couldn't beat, like they couldn't guard them.
Do you think the 23 Nuggets win the chip this year?
No, this year I think this year's tough, Mark. But this is the thing. I think it's the matchup stuff. Because I think more Mars, and I remember I told you this like 2 months ago. More now than it was previously. Everything is matchups now because of the CBA and where rosters are. That Nuggets team didn't have a lot of flaws. I think that's really where the question was. Their regular season peak wouldn't have been as high. But the issue is if a less flawed Nuggets team with a much better defense was playing like, and then Murray was obviously healthy playing versus all these teams, I think then the conversation would just be different. Like, now instead of like
they'd be in that upper group of contenders.
Yeah, like now instead of Russell Westbrook, now it's KCP and Bruce Brown. You know what I mean? Like, in those two, that run were like,
and the way Jamal Murray was playing in those playoffs.
He's not doing that against OKC.
I'm about to jump back in though because we got more super chats and then we got 4 more series that I want to talk about. KCD
2 more series. We ain't gonna talk about 2 of them games. We really don't.
2.5. KCD said, "I just know Frederick VanVleet is Mars's favorite player." Is that right, Mars?
Yeah. No, but we didn't get like because you guys were just yelling about for some reason about the fact that the Rockets win because offensive rebounding. I think the Rockets still have a chance to win this series. Like I want to make that abundantly clear. I don't think they're the favorites by any means, especially once they lose home court advantage. But there are avenues in which they can win. I just don't think those avenues include Jalen Green and Fred VanVleet playing well. I'm just talking up those guys aren't going to play well in the series, but I still think the Rockets can win. But I do think they have chances. I do think they have a chance, and if they win game 2. I think the Rockets are okay with where they're at. I'll say that. I think they're okay with where they're at.
All right. Whoopity Scoopity became a member today. Shout out to Whoopity. Gorilla also became a member today as well. And all dubs, no L's. Sent through a members chat and said, Ant-Man. Jalen Green, Dookie Water?
Oh man.
There is no enigma like the Rockets, and watch and chill this whole year about the defend the Rockets. Like against rationale has been one of the funnest parts of this NBA season.
I don't know about
they won 52 games. They won 52 games. How did they do that? If Jalen Green and Alfred Sengun can't score, how?
To be fair, Sengun could score yesterday. Sengun could score. Sengun was fine. Sengun was great. Yeah, Sengun was great.
It was hooping.
Chill.
I'm sick of y'all. I'm sick of y'all.
Chill.
We keep saying how they win, and for some reason it gets met with arguments. Like
you telling me all they do is offensive rebound. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it.
Rebounding, and then somehow the bad guy for saying that's how they win.
I'm not arguing against that. I just think that they're a little better than they get credit for, even in the ways that they win.
All they're doing.
I just think they're a little better. I give them more credit.
They're all-time great. They're all-time great offensive rebounding team, and they're an amazing defense. Right. So they're allowed to not be a great half-court offense and still win. Like that's great, and that's why I still think they can win this series. But like ignoring the half-court flaws because they're the 2 seed is disingenuous.
Yeah.
All right, Culture Bandit said Curry is an active defender, not a good one. Let's relax. Dub Kawhi for the 7 assists he gave to the Nuggets. Dub donations.
Yeah, the Clippers lost because of turnovers.
I think
are calling turnovers.
Look, I'm not gonna lie to you, Mars. If you're not the primary playmaker on a team and you have 7 turnovers in a game, I don't care who you are. That's horrible. You're not allowed to do that.
That's disgusting.
You're not allowed to do it. Randall did it. Kawhi did it.
So bad. Like Kawhi's not that bad of a processor. Like I'm not high on his ability to map the floor and stuff, but that was just unordinarily bad. So he's probably gonna be better going forward. But it's bad. That was terrible. Shout out to James Harden, by the way. He was great. Norman Powell, Bogdanovic, Kawhi, they all have to be better. All of them.
Hey, Kawhi, James Harden's gonna get reputation uplifted from me. Because he's gonna play good because he's James Harden playing good all year. I'm so sorry. We're gonna do this whole Kawhi thing. Look, Kawhi Leonard is, here top 5 player in the league, blah blah blah. All I know is every time Kawhi Leonard sees the Nuggets,
James Harden is gonna have a bad game in this series, and the timeline and the conversation is gonna be so disgusting. Oh, you can't trust James Harden in the playoffs. Okay,
they're down 3-1. Is James Harden?
I guarantee the bad game will happen. It'll be like Nuggets up 3-2 or Clippers up 3-2, and then James Harden will have his stinker. And it's like,
you know can't trust James. You know what's coming though, Mars. That's the point, Mars. You know that game is coming with him. You know what it is.
A bad game in a series happens for damn near everyone. LeBron
they play tonight too, right? Yep. Yeah. Come on, James. Let's just get it out the way with, so I can come up here and slander you tomorrow. All right, we got a members chat from Hunter. Hunter said, "Lakers fans finding out the Wolves are not."
I'm so sick of this, man. People act like the Wolves were just
people like
the Wolves. By the way,
I kind of wrote. I have the Lakers winning,
I ain't gonna lie.
But I feel like the Wolves had no shot just through.
But the Wolves, by the way, Mars. Everybody duck your head. The Wolves have been better than the Lakers this year. They were the better team in the regular season. They were a better basketball team than the Lakers this year. Like every metric you can look at says
besides record, I guess.
Better. That's what I'm saying. The record. I mean, record stuff is whatever. I don't. Record is not. They were a top 5 defense and the top 10 offense on the entirety of the year.
They're a top 5 defense.
Reach
on the entirety. I'm talking about dunks and threes adjusted for everything.
I actually didn't know that. I mean, this is after getting Randall. With 1 less win than the Lakers, to be fair. So like, even on a winning record thing, it's not far off. And then you got to factor in like the Lakers are like continuity. They just made a trade, all of that stuff. So like, they're not that far apart personally in terms of teams. I think it's going to be a close series.
All I want to say about the Wolves, chill. You remember the summer? It was me, you, and Knox versus the world. It was. Hey, it wasn't as bad as the Luka trade, but it was along those lines. People were saying, "Oh my God, why would they trade Cat? Oh my God." Well,
they're a worse team, by the way.
I think they'd be better with Cat.
I think they would be better with Cat.
Hey, be that as it may, this team is pretty solid. It's pretty solid.
Well,
right?
Dante, but Julius, if Julius plays like a man, okay, I'm not talking about the Julius man, like the RB trigger to the rim bulldozers. I'm talking about like plays like a smart NBA basketball player. Then that
like he did on Saturday night.
No,
he was.
You don't get to turn the ball over 7 times. Chill.
Okay. Once again, the 7 turnovers that he had.
Don't make justifications. I don't want to hear it. Hold the ball up here. You're big. Hold the ball up by your head. Chill. The reason why he got stripped because he brought the ball all the way down here. You know why? Here, Mars, reenactment. Say go. Say 1, 2, 3, go. I'm gonna show you what Julius did.
1, 2, 3, go.
And the ball smacked out of his head.
Hey, fun fact: he was the only one on the floor with more than one turnover.
For the Wolves?
Yeah, for the Wolves. He was the only one on the floor with more than one turnover.
Well, his turnover came in like the first 2 minutes too. Like he really ain't turned the ball over for his first turnover. He threw it to like the 7th row, and then since then he didn't turn it over. So
Julius said, "I'm gonna be a good teammate. I'm gonna take all you guys' turnovers today."
And then he tried to bully LeBron and got his
that one was
smacked.
Who
you think you are, Julius?
Brian had 2 crazy blocks. That one, and then the other one he got on a fast break. I'm like, how are you still doing? Yeah. That was
all right. And then LeBron got his stuff blocked, and I didn't see it on the timeline. Why? I wonder why.
You know why?
They deleted the footage already. The footage,
but you know the clutch vans came through.
Hey, you know when what's the name dunked on him for France USA last year, the whole world got the MIB treatment. Nobody remember that. Yabusele dunked on that man on an international stage, and we haven't seen the evidence ever since.
That happened?
It doesn't exist. Yeah,
doesn't happen. Yeah.
AI.
That's crazy. I remember that. I remember. Don't trip. I remember vividly.
You can't find a clip of it online right now.
Mandela effect. Everyone swear they remember something, but it didn't happen.
It's the same thing that Jordan did when LeBron took him to work in that camp when he was 17 years old. We ain't seen the footage.
It doesn't exist. But anyway.
Shout out to Ezekiel. He became a YouTube member today. Salute to him. And it's Zamzay sent through an emoji. He said, hating as usual. Number 30 hit 2 big shots in the 4th.
Sure did.
Yeah, Trill was hating on stuff.
So he had more than 3 points in the 4th?
I only remember I remember the 3 he hit. I remember the 3 he hit at 9 minutes, and he didn't score again for the rest of the 4th quarter.
Because you was hating.
Yes, that's why. He had 6 in the 4th.
Close your eyes when he made the other 3.
That was the one he hit when it was 9.5 minutes left in the 3rd. That was it. He didn't score again after that.
Because you was hating.
No, I'm not hating. That was a fact. He didn't score again.
No, he scored at 5 minutes left in the 4th.
He did.
When did he score?
Yes.
5 minutes. I'm looking at it right now. It was off the screen. Chill. It was off the screen.
I remember that.
No, chill. It was off the screen floating right.
I do remember that.
See? Your eyes were closed. That's what happened.
I do remember.
He just decided to not see the 2 3 he made in the ball.
He's like Jalen Green's gonna make this next jumper. All right, the next one.
Yeah, see, Chill just wanted to hate on Steph. I don't know why, but he just wanted to hate on Steph because he was fine in the 4th. 6 points, 2 threes.
D3 said this is probably why, because D3 said the Rockets was on Steph's ass like the rent was due yesterday. And he was late. No space, no peace, just pressure and harassment nonstop.
Yeah, all I heard is the Amish stopper with the Steph.
We were switching.
All I heard.
No, I don't want to hear it.
We were switching.
You don't get credit for 3 points, and then don't get credit for 31 points given up on your head. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, he's still at 31. You can't
switching. What do you want me to do about that? I'm not out there. We were switching.
I liked how Jalen Green was guarding Steph.
I don't think he did badly. I think Steph just decided to do something.
I think he did great, but that's what happens when you're Steph Curry.
Ooh, hey, by the way, that step through Steph had on Fred VanVleet. Mars, you remember that one? On the
what?
The step through. It was on the left. It was on the left wing. Steph backed up, did a step back for a mid-range shot, but then he did the Anthony Edwards 1-2 step through. And I was like, Steph, when did you add that? That was dirty.
The one he had in the 3rd quarter, where he threw the ball between his legs, then threw it behind his back, and Dylan Brooks was on him. He threw the ball between his legs, behind his back, and he hit Dylan Brooks with the shoulder, and it wasn't even that hard, but just enough, just to get enough room, and he cracked it. I was like, ooh.
Now he's trying to make up for the Steph.
No PG right there, man.
Yo, I couldn't care less, to be honest with you, Mars. I really couldn't.
I've seen you hating on Steph. I've seen you in half the highlights hating on Steph.
You do the same. You do the same thing. You hate. There's plenty of players that you hate on. So
number 32. That's what I'm talking. Yeah.
I ain't even talking about him. That's not even about basketball.
Swiper.
Stop.
That's the player I hate.
This the thing though, Swiper, because
there's a difference between hating players and hating on players, and I'm not doing that.
Okay. If Steph did that to Fred, imagine what he does to Akeem. Just imagine, Swiper. Imagine what Steph would have did to a
Wait, what am I missing? What's the context clues here?
Fellas, we got to talk about the
smartest defender ever. Hakeem got no shot.
We got to talk about the next series. The next series we're gonna dive into. We got the Bucks and the Pacers. the Pacers handled the Bucks by a score of 117-98.
Why are we waiting so long to get to this game? Oh, I know
why. The Pacers really just put on a clinic as a unit. Now, Pascal Siakam, he had 27.7 rebounds. Miles Turner had 19 points. And the Pacers had 7 people total that were in double digits. And, well, the Bucks, they had Giannis Antetokounmpo.
I'm Brook Lopez.
Ron?
That's it.
Is that it, Ron?
They had Giannis Antetokounmpo.
So they had Brook Lopez. Okay.
That's it. They had Giannis Antetokounmpo, and that's it. Because that's literally the only person who came to play.
Can everyone give me they're much more astute basketball minds up here than me, obviously, especially according to our host. How were they challenging the Bucks defensively in the first half? Mars, I'll start with Mars.
What do you mean? How were they challenging?
What were they doing?
He wants you to say they were trying to pick on Brook Lopez. That's what he. Well, but no,
it wasn't that. I mean, it wasn't that.
It's way beyond that. It's the fact that the Bucks are just athletically challenged. And B, they just like the Pacers move the ball so quickly and so well, and the Bucks' inability to contain the ball is just putting them in constant rotation. That the Pacers are able to generate an open shot every time down the floor. Well, that's what it feels like. Every time down the floor, they're able to generate an open shot. And like every reason why the Pacers were going to win this series, like if anyone who picked the Pacers, game 1 was like the perfect illustration of why the Pacers are the better team. The Bucks can't guard them. Like they're too immobile. They don't have the versatility, the flexibility defensively. They can't contain them. And then on the other side, everything that people predicted Giannis was going to do to this Pacers defense, he did. Because that's what Giannis does.
Interesting.
And I do think the Bucks are going to shoot the ball better, which I think is part of the equation. But on the other, like, there's nothing the Bucks can do defensively that's going to make this better. It's not going to remedy the situation. So that's the concern. That's the concern.
What's that?
Go ahead.
Ryan Rollins is young. This is his first playoff series, so I'm not going to give him too much flack.
Okay.
I'm actually going to put it more on Doc for starting them and putting them out there like a deer in headlights. But
who else was he supposed to go to, Ron?
I'm about to get to that. I'm about to get to that right now. Okay. Ryan Rollins, Taurean Prince, Kyle Kuzma, beat it.
Say the other starter too. Say the other starter as well.
Brook Lopez.
No way you gonna say those 3 starters are not saying that.
Look, we don't have time to get into a Brook Lopez argument and debate. You guys feel how you feel about Brook.
You can say those 3 and ignore him.
I feel how I feel about Brook. I think Brook's all right. But once again, we've been at this crossroads before. You guys,
how when you're objectively wrong, it's just it's just a disagreement.
Brook did not play bad, offensively or defensively.
What did he contribute?
What did he contribute to their defense? Games.
What did he contribute to their defense? Now, I'm genuinely, because this was never about Brook just being a rim protector. This was about Brook having to move around the court.
Brook can't guard on the perimeter. And they don't do anything. Can't guard on the perimeter. If Ryan Rollins, if Kuzma can't guard on the perimeter, Brook Lopez can't either. We know
and they
that.
Don't do anything. Indiana doesn't do anything different with Brook Lopez. They've always attacked him on the perimeter. Always.
Okay, and if Bobby Portis comes in, they're going to attack him. If Giannis is in the game, they're going to attack him. They're still like Brook. Their offense does not revolve around attacking Brook Lopez. Their offense resolve. How Marsh said. Their offense revolves.
No, you're not, Ron. Who do we have a better chance in being successful against attacking on the perimeter? Bobby Portis, Giannis, or Brook Lopez, Ron?
Bobby Portis and Brook Lopez are hey, 2 sides of the same coin.
Don't do that, right?
It's 2 sides of the same coin.
I don't like either one of them.
It's literally 2 sides of the same coin.
One of them stinks more, Mars. You're the stinky guy. So one of them stinks more, Mars.
And one of them actually can protect the rim, too.
I'm of the... Hey, get Jericho Sims out there, man. Get Jericho Sims out.
One of them can actually protect the rim.
I'm tired of this.
He can't help offensively like Brook Lopez. Yes, Brook Lopez didn't do that yesterday. Anything off? Yes, Brook Lopez do up on the offense.
He was damn near the second best player offensively in 20 minutes.
But that says a lot about what everyone else was doing.
Yeah, I mean, Kuz was on a goose egg on every. Me personally,
if I'm the Bucks, I'm going with KPJ, AJ Green,
and Gary Trent.
I think
KPJ played great yesterday.
Bring Dame back. There you go. Bring Dame back. That's my 5. We gonna go Uber shooting around Giannis and pray, because you're not gonna guard them. You can't guard them. You don't have the personnel to guard them. You don't have a prayer of guarding them. I watched them go to their little zone for a little while. Shout out to the Bucks.
But like, there's nothing they can do to guard.
Indy a fast team too. Indy's a fast team.
I'm the Pacers just running them right. Every miss, they just run.
And like you said earlier, the way they move the ball is crazy, and I think that's what makes the offense so fast too, is because everybody that's on the floor is also a good passer. It does not matter who has the rock. Everybody on the floor is a good passer, and it shows.
Shout out to Andrew Nemhard, by the way.
Oh yeah, my
pretty good player.
My second round goats.
Yeah, but AJ Green got to play more. Gary Trent got to play more. Kevin Porter got to start.
How much of that end of that game, Ron, do you feel like the Pacers were just like, we just need to get this game over with? 5 minutes left, they're up 20 still, and it gets to 12. Like, how much of that was just like, all right, bro, like it's just they're just trying to run the clock out at this point. Honestly, I feel like they could have put up more points. They just stopped running their offense.
They were trying. They were just missing shots.
Right.
They were literally missing layups, missing threes. It was just a bad game from the Bucks. But once again, like, you can't have 3 starters.
Who did you pick going into this series?
Absolutely nothing. And we can say 4 starters. You can't have 4 starters bring you absolutely nothing. And so, I mean, that is an adjustment that Doc Rivers needs to make, if it's even came into his mind yet. You guys are right. Giannis Antetokounmpo needs to play more 5 minutes. The risk you run when he plays the 5 is it's still the same thing. You still have to play. He's still going to play Bobby Portis. So one way or another, you're going to have an immobile big, Bobby Portis or Brook Lopez. I don't know if he's ever going to go to the Giannis and Kuz. I think that may be the route to go. Even Giannis or Taurean Prince, because Giannis can guard. Giannis or Taurean can both guard Miles Turner, and each of the other can guard Pascal Siakam. Yeah,
but then if Giannis is at the 5, they still have to play that drop still. Like, because Miles Turner is like, Miles Turner is a lot better than people realize, man. I'm sorry, bro.
Turner worked out.
I mean, he's a mismatch, because he can pop, and that kind of that destroys.
But even getting to the rim, like if he one dribbles you to the rack, bro, like he's a big dude, bro. People don't realize.
See the step back 3 he made.
Yeah, bro, that's what he does.
He's a bucket, man. He's a bucket.
Big time.
And then, but I'm saying, but Ron, it's just like what like with the Pacers, Ron. It's like, okay, Hallie, all right, whatever. Okay, just contain the damn ball as much as you can. And then with like Nembhard, it's like, all right, bro, he's getting to the rim, he can hit threes, he's a good passer, and he's a really good defender and a good initiator. All right, cool. All right, well, just try. But then it's like, okay, then you got Aaron Nesmith, and it's just like, okay, if he can hit threes, he can penetrate, and he can post a little bit. All right, it's like, all right, now you got Benny. Okay, Benny gets you some options. All right, it's like, damn. All right, so let's say all 4 of them are playing bad. But then you got Pascal Siakam. Yep. And then Pascal literally is just like boom, 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 dribble, nice. Rim, like step back, 3-pointer, post up, whatever you want. And then it's like Pascal, and then Obi Toppin. And then you get Obi in the game, and Obi is a whole different kind of player next to Miles Turner, and then Obi and Pascal and Hallie and Nesmith, Nembhard, Rod. It's the fact that they have 7 players.
TJ McConnell.
That's where I was going. Because even
TJ Ox on the little post ups he does versus smaller guards, like. They every one of them can play. All of them can play. You can't fall asleep versus any of them.
You don't get all of this logic. I'm digging all of this logic, but this shit is gonna look way different when you add 24 a game back to the lineup. That's coming right back to the lineup. I understand the defensive part. Right. I understand. I do understand the defensive part, right? But when you add 24 a game back to the lineup, that puts Indiana more on the defense. So the stuff that they was doing on offense, they might not be able to score as much because now Hallie's got it. Because what you're not going to do, Mars, is you're not just going to concede these points, right? So what you're not conceding these points, you now have to play more defense, and that's going to be a problem for your offense. You might not be able to run.
They have more defenders to throw at Dame than the Bucks have to throw at Indiana, though.
The biggest thing coming back is Pacers gonna have to work from a set offense though, because if Dame is scoring, they're gonna have to work from a set offense and less transition running. Because a lot of points that they got in this game 1, a lot of transition buckets, pushing the pace, we on a fast break type of bucket. Yeah. But that ain't gonna be the case if Dame is knocking down shots, because they're gonna be putting points up. So it's gonna be from a set offensive, like they're gonna be running it against a set defense from the Milwaukee Bucks.
And I do know that your defense is inefficient. I ain't gonna argue that point. But sometimes throughout the course of games, your offense enhances your defense. We got to get a stop here, right? So collectively, even though Dame is inefficient defensively, I ain't gonna argue that, Moss. Even though KPJ defensively can be inefficient. But when you're getting when you're consistently having a chance to score and you're getting buckets, this Milwaukee team, we got to get a stop here. We got to gang rebound. So if I'm living with Miles Turner cracking the three and he's cracking the three, okay, the rest of us, we're going to get on the glass. Don't get me wrong, Miles. This Milwaukee team is one of the worst teams at guarding at the long ball line all year long. Not just Saturday. They're one of the worst teams guarding at the long ball line all year long. However, when your offense is enhanced, I feel like that favors your defense to make you play a little bit harder. And I think with adding 24 a game in Dame, I think that can bring a jolt to their defense.
But that Halliburton pick and roll with Dame, bro, it's about to get disgusting. Though.
That's because they're gonna switch. Goddamn!
I'm saying, but Dame's gonna die on the screen though. They're gonna
Ron, you know me, I'm sorry, I'm yelling because me and Ron, we boxing when I see him. Because
what happened?
What does Dame dying on screen got to do with me?
Because he keep trying to sell me this Brook Lopez shit, and
I'm not saying that Brook Lopez can guard none of these niggas. We know he can.
Brook Lopez, and we switching ones and fives, and Brook Lopez is switched on to Tyrese Halliburton, 25 feet away from the basket. Ron, we are boxing when I see you, I swear.
Chill. The same way you feel it, and obviously I know, before everybody has a heart attack, I know it's levels on offense between Brook Lopez and Damian Lillard. But the same reason why you live with what Damian Lillard gives you in other aspects of the game, that's the same thing with Brook.
What?
I don't think it should be. I don't think that should be the case, but I mean, I guess.
Well, I mean, they cooked either way it goes.
The roster is flawed.
Unless you think Jericho Sims should play.
But
yes,
you did, to be fair, Ron, because I feel like you're trying to escape the torture chamber I got you.
I don't know.
You said that he had the same level of versatility as Al Horford. And I'm telling you right now, if they had Al Horford, this series is way different.
I threw a little joke out
hey,
there.
Ron, I ain't hear you say that, Ron. I don't even remember that.
He did say that.
Thank you.
He said I had to throw a ratings take out there.
That might be worse than saying Joe Kim know what y'all
doing. This what Jordan be talking about. So I be trying to put words in your mouth, bro.
That's what he's. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not letting thing want to think. I got Chill on my side, and he stands on business. He would never lie to y'all. I know what he said. We had a whole matter of fact, JD, clip it and put it up because I know what that man said.
You have the right to remain silent, brother. You do not have to speak in this.
He plead the fifth on nothing.
Yeah,
you going to jail.
You got to do better than this, Swipe. You trying to send a black man in jail? You a black man trying to send a black man in jail? Hey, Swipe, I know who you work for. You trying to send a black man in jail?
That's cool.
Don't worry. I'll be calling corporate and talking to your superiors later today.
You yourself?
Nah, I got another identity. Don't worry about it. But all right, y'all. Enough of Brook Lopez and the Bucks. Let's move on to the next series. Woo! Y'all, it was a murder.
We can speed run.
Yeah, we don't. This isn't something that we.
What series are we talking about?
Was we
disagree on this one.
Can we relocate the 15 minutes we allocated here to actual series?
None of them are real series. The Cavs, Heat, Orlando, Boston, and we saved the 3 non-series for last.
I think if that's the case, I think we should give it to Miami.
I agree. That's the closest to being a series. I agree with that.
Let's do that.
Cleveland getting that done.
They still don't have a chance.
Heat Cavs.
Still don't got much to say.
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Ty Jerome. All 3 were really, really good.
Oh my gosh! All had like 20. How many did Garland have? 27.
27, I want to say. 28.
So all of them had a 27.
27, I think, for Garland. 30 for Donovan Mitchell.
That's crazy. 3 point guards. Three guards. 3 point guards. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, Ty Jerome not too bad for someone who was made by Donovan Mitchell. But like, he was. The Heat just don't have, and Davion can only be in so many places at once.
Sorry, like, he can't cover everybody.
They've got so many guys who can just create dribble penetration and get downhill and then make shots, and like all of them are elite in that floater range, which I think is like the most valuable spot on the floor these days. Like Ty Jerome's elite at floaters, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and then Donovan Mitchell, he's getting all the way to the rim, and it's just like he's so creative under the rim with his finishes and stuff. It's like, I don't know what you do with this. And he didn't even have the 3-point shot going, and he was still able to get to 30 efficiently because of just how dangerous he is downhill. Like, there's not much the Heat can really do in terms of like keeping all of them out of the lane. And I don't think Evan Mobley was that great offensively. I don't know what his numbers were. I don't think he was that great offensively.
He was 9 and 7 last night. 9.7 rebound.
But like, they were still just able to consistently get whatever they wanted offensively, and then defensively. Yeah. It's hard to break down a defense and then have Jarrett Allen and Mobley on the back line. Like, it's just This is a sweep, in my opinion. Maybe a game if the Heat have like crazy hot shooting, but this is a sweep. This is a sweep.
Hey, yo, go ahead, Chill. Go ahead.
Piper, you and I had a conversation, and it wasn't too long ago, and Mars even said it to me. He said, Chill, when are you going to come to the realization that Bam isn't who you think he is? He actually is who I think he is. He's a dirty work guy who can score in stretches. That's it. He reminds me a lot of Buck Williams, but he's not a guy that we can run our offense through. He can't be a guy that I'm going to go to in the meat and potatoes of the game for buckets. He is a dirty work guy. He's going to get me rebounds. He's going to get me timely stops. And that's who he is. That's who I think he is. And I do think that I'm going to get between 18 to 20 a game from him on a Tuesday. I think I can get that from him. I don't think he's a 25, 30 a game guy, even at his best. But I do think that the production that he gives me, I think that's good enough to be an all-league guy. The difference with this Miami Heat team isn't built that way. This Miami Heat team is built for him to have to score. That's not going to get it done. This Miami team is built for him where they run the offense through him. That's not going to get it done. No, we need other guys like a lead guard to run our offense, and they don't have that right now. And that's their biggest problem. That's their biggest problem. And really quickly before you guys go, Eastside, my man, yesterday's game was an assassination. Assassinations are quick. We don't have to talk about it. It happened fast. The dude was sitting on the hill. Your Oklahoma City Thunder was sitting on the hill with that high-powered rifle, and you ended it. It didn't take long. It wasn't like we got to go 20 minutes about what Oklahoma City did. That was an assassination, B, and it happened fast.
Eastside, we actually showing love by not talking about it.
For real, yo. That was
because it ain't nothing to talk about.
It really ain't nothing to talk about, bro. It's not. It's really not, yo.
God.
Unfortunate.
Trash.
That was quick.
I mean, if anything, we can just chalk. I mean, that the J-Dub looked like what he was supposed to look like. I mean, I can say that definitively. Yes. This is what you were hoping from J-Dub. This is what you want to see from J-Dub. Chet and Nyhart defensively were everything you thought they would be. They had Alex Caruso. Like, they somehow have the best defender in the league, maybe on a per-minute basis right now, and Alex Caruso just doing whatever he wants. He was amazing yesterday. They didn't need anything from to me, that's crazy. You had a bad game from SGA. It didn't matter at all. Nothing. It's nothing. It wasn't even a drop in the ocean.
They scored. They held them dudes to under 40 at the half. I'm good. We don't need to talk about this. We don't.
Yeah, ain't nothing to say about them.
We really don't.
All right, fellas. Well, I'm gonna dive into the super chats, and the super chats are touching on everything else that we haven't talked about. Straw Hat Sales said, and the Celtics will win this, but Paolo made anyone guarding him look like a baby.
And that's what he's meant to do. When you're that big, strong, physical, and skilled, that's the Paolo that I have been begging to see for the first.
It's a big dude.
What year is he in? Year 3?
Yeah, year 3.
Year 3, man.
Paolo's gonna be a star,
man. 3 years of his career. He does this consistently.
I need to know. It's 46
star.
games. He played 46 games this year. He averaged 25.9. So he averaged 26 this year.
Yep.
Year 3, 22 years old. Y'all's finna be some shit these next 10 to 12 years. I need y'all to know that.
Yeah, he gonna be a star.
I need y'all to know that.
Soon as Magic get healthy, they gonna start winning playoffs. As long as they can stay healthy all through the postseason, they're gonna be straight. Also, the East is tough right now. Like I think somebody mentioned it earlier, playing against some of the best teams right now in his first few years. Celtics, like, come on, man. Cavs the last year, like. He playing against some dogs. So as soon as he stay healthy, continue doing what he's doing, and the rest of the guys around him stay healthy, they're going to get some series under their belt. But Paolo is a star, and I don't think there should be no disagreements on that.
And shout out
that Magic team is right on track, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? They right where they're supposed to be. You know, everybody can't be like OKC and jump the line. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, it took OKC 3 years.
And I mean, with that being said,
it was already older at that point too.
Right.
So you know what I'm saying? It just takes time. I think that Magic team is exactly where they're supposed to be, playing against the top, some of the top teams in their conference. With that being said, too, we've all already touched on the fact that Jalen Suggs is super important to that team. Mo Wagner is super important to that team. So you know what I'm saying? Health is more important than anything. You know what I'm saying? Y'all get healthy, and who knows? Next year they could be a top four seed in the East.
By the way, Ron, it's not super chat, but Darius Garland. By the way, I think people need to just I think the run he's about to go on as lead
He
guard
is
in the Eastern
awesome,
Conference is crazy, bro.
He is freaking awesome. I love him, man.
Bro, he's so smooth, Ron. So smooth with the dribble, the shooting, the driving, the playmaking, dog. I mean, dude, he's one of my
That's a solid point guard right there.
I'll tell you this, Ron. I was paying attention to it yesterday. I was watching specifically his game, but then they flashed the camera on Apollo. I'm in awe how big this dude is. Like, he's not a small dude. What is he, about 6? What is he, 6'9", around 6'10"?
6'10".
And what are you out, 250, 260?
Probably.
Yeah. They had the camera on him. I'm like, God damn, this dude is
Apollo ain't even got his grown man strength yet.
Like, he ain't even an adult yet.
Like, yo,
yeah.
Apollo doesn't have a mean streak to him at all. He's like a very, very nice, relaxed person. Like, if he just get a look, I mean, I don't want him. He might not need it.
He
but
get that mean streak with George Niang coming around.
IQ though, bro. Like, his IQ is already so advanced though as such a young player. So that's why I'm like, bro, 3 to 4 years from now, he's gonna be dangerous. He's gonna be dangerous, and this is what you want from the Mavericks after drafting a guy a couple years ago. This like you in a perfect position of where you trying to.
That was the Chet draft, right, Mars?
Yeah.
So,
yo, the thing about it is, I think a lot of people underestimate, and I know we just talked about, he's 6'10", 250, and we're all clearly in awe of that, right? We're like, I'm in awe of that, but I still think people underestimate how serious that is. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you matched up with one of them type dudes, like that type of build, 6'9", 6'10", 230 to 260, them dudes, and they can shoot the ball, they can put the ball on the ground, they quick, you know what I'm saying? That is a serious.
He ain't soft neither, Ox. That's
nothing sweet about that matchup.
Sounds like you describe him
with anybody for sure.
Right. Well, yeah, but there's a lot of those dudes. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of those
dudes. Melo Mars? That's what you're saying?
What he described sounds like a big.
Well, yeah, but he not nice as Melo though. You know what I'm saying? Right. He not cold as Melo. But
I think he got a little more physicality than Melo though.
No.
Yeah, but he's not on that same level.
I'm not trying to do that.
No, you got to go back to young Melo though. Nah, bro.
Yeah, I know you not, and I'm not going to overreact. I'm just simply going to say he's not Melo, and that's it. He's not Melo. But I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about what we described. I'm talking about the physical specimen, the athleticism, the quick first step, the ability to stop and pop. When you got to match up with something like that, that is serious, bro. And when you got dudes they're like a 6'5", 6'6", they get matched up on that, they're at his mercy, bro. There's nothing you could do with them dudes like that, but just stay solid and pray. You know what I'm saying?
He's serious. That's the worst part about it. Like, you got guys that are big like that, but they got finesse games. Like, no, he ain't soft.
Yeah.
Like, he will beat you up. He will rough you up. And having to deal with that all night.
Who's the most physical wing in the league? Non-Giannis. Like a non-Giannis wing, like a true 3 or something like that. I guess it's like a 3. Zion is another one too.
See that?
Apollo's a 4, but he's a 3. Right. I mean, he's a ball handler. Like, I guess Zion and Giannis are kind of exceptions to the rule. I guess.
Zion played a 4 sometimes.
Braun or Tatum.
Braun, Tatum.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like Tatum could be a little more physical.
I'm going Tatum.
More physical, but Tatum's still physical though.
Tatum is a lot more.
I'm going Tatum.
Credit for. Yes, he is. He's a lot more. But
I say
Zion.
Brook. I mean, I guess
Zion is just pure power. That's all Zion is. He's just pure power. He's going right after you.
That's what I'm saying. Those are power forwards. Like Aaron Gordon's another one. Chill. Like, that's a power forward.
Sure.
But I feel like most threes end up falling down to play the 4 at some point in the game.
Right.
Because like Tatum, like we can consider him a wing, and like obviously he got some votes in this conversation, but the Celtics still put him down at the 4 sometimes too.
That's what he plays. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what he plays.
Hey, by the way, Ron, I just realized Davion Mitchell playing versus his idol. I just remember that.
Who,
I just saw him stand next to each other 45-45, and I was like, oh, I completely forgot about that.
Davion Mitchell is his guy? I didn't know. I mean, Donovan Mitchell is his guy? I didn't know that.
He literally modeled his number and like looked stuff after him.
And they play the exact same too. So.
Right.
I didn't know that. That's news.
Well, to be fair, Davion is what Donovan Mitchell would have looked like out of college with no offensive development. If that makes sense.
So he a poor man's Donovan Mitchell.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
Donovan wish he could guard like
because Davion Mitchell will be much better than Donovan if Donovan wasn't Donovan. You know what I'm saying? Like if he couldn't score, if he'd had to rely on that type of defensive stuff, he wouldn't be Davion.
All right, y'all. Love Fadina said every year in the playoffs, Ant takes a leap. This time may be a playmaking one. Wolves in 5. Jalen Green is so bad, by the way. Just a sorry ass nigga.
I feel like people are. I do feel like people are harping so much on Jalen Green that Fred VanVleet is just going under the radar. But
you suck worse. But
yeah, so I feel like Fred VanVleet, the veteran he's meant to be with all the experiences.
Hey, Fred played good defense yesterday.
But I feel like he's going under the radar. But yeah, Ant's playmaking was really good in game 1. It was really, really good in game 1.
I mean, but how, are those not the easiest reads you could imagine if you're Ant? Get by Luka, and then okay.
I mean, I don't
3 shooters over here.
I don't think he had to make advanced reads. I don't think he has to make advanced reads. But like, if we're not holding him to the LeBron James, Luka Doncic, James Harden level of playmaking reads, as long as he makes the right reads consistently, that's what you want from him. It's not, is he going to be able to manipulate a defense and whatever. But can he make the right read consistently?
I think it's as simple as finding
2 open corners. The right one was more open. And I swear, like I thought the ball was, like my eyes immediately went to the, went down here, and then he flipped it back over his head, and I was like, is that Ant? No way! All right, man. Shout out to you, Ant.
Leveling up.
Watch Michael Jordan highlights and Luka.
Whoopity scoopity sent through a super chat and said, "Shout out to my Thunder. I feel like this is our year. Was super impressed with J-Dub and the role players."
Yeah, the non-Shea minutes looked mighty fine.
Just like they did in the regular season.
And the more I watch Thunder, the more I'm convinced that he probably will win it.
I can't wait for this year to be talked about correctly. I cannot wait.
I was watching Shea on the bench. I was watching Shea on the bench, and I'm thinking to myself, he might be good over there for the rest. If they're gonna play like this, we might not need him for the rest of the afternoon. We might.
I wouldn't have brought him back.
We might not need him for the rest.
We were up by 30. Yeah, we don't need Shea. I would have started with the bench guys for the whole second half.
I think they could beat the Memphis Grizzlies in 5 without Shea. 5.
Definitely.
5.
That was crazy.
Ja can't score on anybody. Like what is
they could damn near sweep the Grizzlies if they went with the lineups where Shea, Chet, all of them didn't play, and they went with Aaron Wiggins, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Joe, Case and Wallace and them. They could damn near beat the Grizzlies with that line.
Wow. Shout out to Thunder, man. Shout out to Thunder.
We say that, and then the Grizzlies been 4 straight.
I'll tell you to wake up from your dream. Go ahead, Ron.
Watch.
Cujo said the thing that benefits teams like Minnesota, OKC, Houston is the playoffs allow for a more physical style of defense that you have to be able to match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah,
you got to be able to score too. I mean, they're not the only team that's gonna be getting physical.
That's what leaves Houston behind those other 2 teams.
Like all these other teams gonna get physical too. So it's not just them that's getting physical. Like it's not just benefiting OKC.
Personally, I think the most skilled physical team wins in those matchups.
Yeah, I could agree with that. Like you got to have more than just physical defense at the end of the day. Like
the Rockets can make the conference finals at this point. There's a pathway for them to beat the Wolves.
Stop it.
There is a pathway.
Stop it. Come on, man. Stop it.
Okay.
Y'all talking about Rockets conference? Stop it, man. Come on, man.
All we have to do is beat the Warriors and then either the Lakers or the Wolves. Both of them are very possible.
You said all we have to do. That's like me saying all my Pistons have to do is just beat the Knicks.
No, because in round two, you guys have to beat the Celtics. So you have
all they have to do is beat the Celtics.
Yeah, but there's difference between having to beat the Celtics or having to beat the Lakers and the Lakers. The level.
This is. Stop it, man.
It's possible. It's definitely possible that the Rockets can beat the Warriors and they can beat the Wolves or the Lakers. They
not beating the Warriors.
The Pistons can't beat the Celtics. So
ain't no way. And if they go beat the Warriors, they not beating the Timberwolves.
I wouldn't bet on them, but I think they could.
Come on,
the conference finals is really the second round.
Silly, man. Come on, man.
That's what the conference finals is.
That's
Come on. All right, y'all. Ant MJ235 said if Ant knocks out LeBron or Luka and LeBron and goes on to beat the Warriors, ... he'll have knocked out Jokic, Luka, LeBron, Durant, Booker, Steph, Jimmy by the age of 23.
I don't think that you can give. I don't think knocking, but again, I guess narrative wise, but okay.
Yes, that's what it is. It's narrative.
Right.
Like I said, the Timberwolves will have beat the teams with those players on it, not Ant, but
whatever.
Man, just enjoy the narratives in the offseason, Swiper. Golly.
Just give him the credit.
Don't be such a stickler.
Just give him the credit, man.
You gotta have a little fun sometimes, man. Y'all
people, Oxford.
I feel like y'all refuse to have fun with basketball talk, bro. Right. Like I have fun with this. I think this is a fun time. I enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? I love to talk ball. You know what I'm saying? It's just we don't gotta. Oh my god!
I mean, I have fun without all of the narratives, personally.
No, well, I mean we can't get away from the narratives. There's no way to get around.
Mars, you are also a narrative king. You know.
Oh, for sure. I indulge myself
very much so. Both of y'all.
I do what I feel like. I'm not.
But then y'all get upset when you hear it.
But when I feel like indulging, I'll indulge.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like
narratives are like my
y'all really do that. Like y'all push narratives, and then when y'all hear narratives that y'all don't like, then y'all get all upset.
No, but sometimes I feel like pushing narratives. Like
Mars turns into a red goose. He sits back like this. Swiper be doing that over his eyes and act like he don't want to be here.
I partake in the narratives. I feel like there might be a time in the offseason if the Wolves do that, I might even partake in that narrative just because I feel like it on that day. It just depends on the day.
All I know is like I said in the like I said in the group chat yesterday. If there's a couple teams that if they make runs, y'all just better buckle up and hang on tight all summer because it's gonna be a nasty one. A nasty summer.
Get your seatbelts ready. The Baller Shot Caller 1999 said, out of all teams that lost, which team do y'all think has the chance of making it a series if they tweak something in their system?
Clippers, Lakers.
Yeah, Clippers.
The only teams that have no chance to me are Orlando and Miami. Everyone else, I think, has a chance. And Memphis.
Sorry. Yeah,
Orlando,
Miami,
and
game one.
Everyone else.
I think Pistons in there, Clippers in there, Bucks. Can't forget the series. I think they're behind probably that whole Lakers and Timberwolves situation, but yeah, Grizzlies, I think they done. Heat, I think they're done. Magic is probably done too, but outside of them three, everybody else pretty much got a chance whether they won or lost game one.
Facts. And Doc, we trust. Alan L said, Luka looking like a top 3 scorer again. I'm leaving here with something.
Yeah.
He leaving with an L. He can have his 30, he can have 35 and an L. Go ahead.
The Baller Shot Caller 1999 said, Ron, weren't you saying all this stuff about the Grizzlies bringing it to OKC? What'd you expect?
You was Grizzlies FC. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Wait.
You said the Grizzlies are OKC, but better.
But better.
Yeah.
Oh,
JD, clip that up and send it to me. I ain't say that. Another super chat from Harv. Harv said Denver should find a way to send MPJ to Orlando for Jonathan Isaac. I don't know how salaries would work, but
Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter Jr. We had this discussion before. That would be the trade. Something along those lines.
Swiper, you'll be here for that?
Look, I just personally think that they just need another consistently playable player, and like not even the offense stuff. Like if they had defender, it's like MPJ was just a plus defender. I think they would like if he was Jaden McDaniels. I've said this already. He's having a worse year this year, some part due to some other things, but yeah, if he was just like a comparable defender consistently, then they would just be a much better team. But he literally couldn't.
Jonathan Isaac is your low man. Oof. That'd be nice.
Yeah, initially I was like, nah, probably not. But then, thinking about it, it probably wouldn't be bad on both teams, honestly.
War V Room said, as a Bron fan, it surprises me how confident people are in him bouncing back. While I think there's a real possibility that he just isn't good this series.
He's not healthy. I don't think he's fully healthy right now.
Jordan brought that up, and the Bron fans in the chat were getting mad at Jordan for bringing up the potential groin injury. So I'm just saying, because I read the chat when Jordan said that. If Bron isn't good this series, I don't want to see none of them talking about groin injury, because all of them were mad at Jordan for bringing up that Bron might be hurt. So you better not spin back and be like, hey, well, LeBron was kind of hurt. Nah, I seen you guys in the chat.
So I'm on that side of the fence.
Yeah, I just want to make that clear. You guys can't have it both ways. That's not how this works.
If you are anti-Laker, which I am, if you are anti-Laker and you don't want this to turn into something, which don't matter to me, but Y'all better hope he is, because Bron could just be one of them fill out games that we've been hearing about all over the internet. If that's true, I mean, y'all know what time it is. This we still talking about LeBron James.
I don't want to hear that shit. If you're on the floor, you can play. I don't want to hear none of that shit about it.
You know that I'm about that.
Yeah, you can still be hurt though.
That's true.
Cujo said, "You guys are the best. Very entertaining."
Thank you.
And throw a boxing emoji in there.
He trying to square up?
Guess so.
With this dude, he know what time it is when I see him. He just wait.
Bro, you finna get your ass kicked.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what a wise man once told me, Mars. You can't hit what you can't catch. That goes to both of y'all in the corners. Yusuf Oz or Yusuf Oz said, "You guys think if LeBron and Reeves play better, my Lakers win, or is Minnesota just too deep?"
I mean, that's where it starts with those guys playing better. But
even if they play better, Mars, I mean, you're not going to survive a team cracking 21 threes, 20 plus threes. You're not going to survive that. You just can't.
Not going to happen every game.
No, it's not. I'm just thinking from that one game. I'm just thinking from that one game. I'm not thinking throughout the course of the series, because they're not going to shoot 50% at the long ball line for the series. No, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying for that game right there, we just saw the Lakers stomp Oklahoma City like a week or two ago, and they shot, what did they make, 22, 23 threes? You're not going to survive that. You're not.
Mm-hmm. Next super chat is from Ezekiel. Ezekiel said 3 for 15 shooting a pull-up three in transition should be punishable by death. That's a quote from Mars. And he said Mars got me in tears. And also Triple J and Cools need to leave in handcuffs.
God. Yeah, they're on the all disgrace team. But yeah, that was something I said, yes.
The Baller Shot Caller 1999 said, "I know Luka is mad from being on the perfect team to beat the Wolves to this."
And we already counting them out after one game? Like the series is over? Damn. All right. That's what's up.
That's what we did to the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm. Lakers didn't lose by 50.
Yeah, I was about to say Grizzlies.
They lost by 20. They lost by 20.
Lakers didn't lose by 50. Though.
20 and 50, basically the same thing.
No, it
ain't. At the end of the day, you still down 1-0, whether you lose by 1 or you lose by 116. You're down 1-0.
I think at this point,
wins because they won by 50.
Luka shouldn't be concerned about leaving his team. Maybe in the first 2 weeks, okay, you could have been like, damn, I just left perfect team to beat the Wolves. And then now you're here, but you're in the playoffs with the Lakers. Like at this point, I'm pretty sure he's locked in with the Lakers.
Yes, he is.
Yusuf Oz said bench points killed the Lakers in game 1. Reeves needs to come off the bench or change the second quarter unit. Soon as Luka sat, we lost the lead.
They just not deep enough, man. The Wolves is just dominating. And I think it's a matchup nightmare. I think it goes all the way back to that. They just have too many players on the team that can guard everybody. And then offensively, they got a lot of playmakers on there too. And Lakers just ain't got enough defense.
Shout out Casual Brown and Medved sent through a super chat. All right, chill.
Later, fellas. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right, chill.
Medved sent through a super chat and said MPJ has no lateral movement. He is a huge liability on defense. Russ is a dog on defense.
Russ do be getting after it.
Yeah. I personally think they're better off against this team. I think they're better off playing Russ than MPJ, especially like late in the game. I think Russ gonna give them more.
See, I would say that, and I like Russ for the effort aspect, but just because MPJ can shoot, if he's knocking down shots, I'm on the side of keeping him on the floor. But if he's giving performances like he did the other day, then at that point you probably got him.
Yeah, but so check it out though. Y'all seen when Jokic catches the ball like mid block or even outside the block a little bit. Russell Westbrook's off ball movement. Like Russ is getting to that open spot right there in the floor. I think we've seen him get like 3 buckets right there in the fourth. You know what I'm saying? He maybe two or three. He flashing right there, right in front of anybody. And they have to decide: do we cover up this lane or do we leave Aaron Gordon open for the 3? I would rather them let Aaron Gordon shoot or close out late on Aaron Gordon and step over and cover that. But you're not getting that same thing with MPJ, except for maybe MPJ's over there, and now Aaron Gordon is the one that's flashing there. But Aaron Gordon isn't moving off ball the way Russell Westbrook is. You know what I mean? I think Russ is more dangerous. I'd stick with this.
I think it depends on the way the game is flowing.
Because
sometimes
you right. Russ, if MPJ hitting, it's like, all right, well, Russ, sorry.
For sure.
Unless you're gonna sit out Christian Brown, which you're probably not gonna do. So it's like, all right, well.
I think it's easier to scheme. I think it's easier to scheme against that. I just don't think MPJ's moving enough on offense. For that, like it's just easier to recover, easier to scheme.
I ain't mad at that.
Hunter with the super chat. Hunter said Ty Lue not matching Zoo's minutes with Jokic is absolutely baffling to me. What is running through your mind or running through that man's head?
Yeah, that confused me. It also confused. Yeah. I seen Zoo lunge on a Jokic pump fake. That pissed me off.
He jumped. He was jumping.
That pissed me off. Yeah.
A
couple things that need to be addressed. That can't happen, man. That can't happen. But
looking at the scoreboard, don't look like he did a fairly good job, but he did pretty solid. Guarding Jokic.
He did.
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did fine. I think he did fine. I think he could do better. So,
but to answer that super chat though, is it possible that Ty Lue ain't tripping off Jokic the same way everybody else is?
No, I think the thing was he just wasn't about to play Zubac 46 minutes.
Well, how many
Zubac played 40 minutes.
How many is Jokic?
Played 46 minutes.
Jokic played 46? Oh, I think it's
overtime.
46 is crazy. 46 is crazy. I don't know he played that.
Jokic and Lester. Lester played 47 minutes.
My man Lester.
Hey, damn, they about to be tired as hell. Hey, Clippers winning tonight.
Yeah, you got a series, man. You got a series to worry about.
they coming back to Denver 3-1 Clippers.
Yo. All right, we'll see.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight's gonna be a good ass game. I can't wait.
Hopefully, yeah.
DSG Piccolo said Memphis deadass might have to pay Triple J. That brother is Basora? What's Basora?
Trash.
Garbage. Was Steven Adams the Rockets' best player last night, if not the second?
Second best player for sure. If you were to rank it would probably be Şengün 1, Adams 2, Jabari or Tari number 3, maybe. But distant number 3, by the way. And then Jaren Jackson. Yeah, I'm gonna keep standing. I'm not paying that man $300 million. I'm sorry. I understand. I think Jaren Jackson is good. I just don't think I'm just not as in my salary cap for that. I'm just not. There's no.
That's tough, man. He's such a great player, though. Such a great player.
Like, hey, on a team like y'all, I might consider it. If I'm the Grizzlies, no. And by y'all, I'm talking about
team like who?
For the Pistons.
If I'm the Pistons, I damn near be like, yo.
See, I wouldn't even want them to do it right now, though.
Triple J, because him with the
Duran and Stu over there, like he would be a good help because him and Duran down low would be good, but
yeah, he'll space the floor out for y'all too.
Get 4 rebounds.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's tough. I go back and forth on that because like you said, he can space the floor, but it's just I don't know if the Grizzlies have enough for that. We need to pay him so we can win right now, type of thing. Like I think there's another direction waiting for them and a route to go. But
yeah,
I genuinely don't know what it is.
No way in hell. All right, the Jupiter sent through an empty super chat, but shout out to Jupiter. Casual Brown said Jimmy Butler experience. Great games, 1 and 6, but pedestrian 2 through 5. Let's see how it goes next to Steph.
Hey man,
we're going to
Warriors
have 4 big games from Jimmy.
Rockets and 6.
Medved said, "Can we appreciate the Russell Westbrook experience? Pure cinema. Nuggets and 6.
Love to see it. He balling out.
Cowboy Bob wants to know why you guys ain't got no love for the Knicks.
We ain't showing love to the Knicks.
I guess not.
Knicks is. I ain't showing love to the Knicks. Shit, I'll be the Knicks hater. I'm the biggest hater of the Knicks right now. I'll be that. I stand on business too. Yeah,
Knicks.
I'm on all of that, man. You ain't gonna see no love for the Knicks at all.
Knicks.
Hell no.
Go New York. Go New York. Go.
Hell no. Nothing. We don't like nothing in New York. We're like
Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5.
We ain't playing no old Pop Smoke. We ain't playing no Biggie. We ain't doing nothing.
You always capping for New York. How you a Cali nigga capping for New York?
I'm not capping for New York. I'm capping for OG. I'm capping for OG.
It's all good.
If you calling it cap, but I'm just going with the team I think is better. I'm not gonna buy into what you're trying to sell right now.
Ever since I met you, all you want to do is wear Timbs and listen to New York rap. Aren't you a Cali nigga? LJM sent through a super chat and said, "Can we talk about Kawhi not being able to read a basic trap?"
Kawhi got to do better, man. Yeah, he just got to do better.
He'll be all right.
Yeah,
Kawhi's the person I'm least concerned about.
Facts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yo, Brian, I'm gonna fuck you up.
Hey, Manny, this is the second time today these dudes say something and I call them out, and then all of a sudden it's on me. Now they want to beat me up.
Hey, you got everybody on your head, bro. Everybody.
You hear what he's spewing on the internet?
You just said go New York, go.
You did say that.
We can go into the PC archives and see you walking around in the Aaron Judge jersey.
You ain't never see me win.
Oh, don't please tell me you ain't wearing no Aaron Judge jersey.
Who's your best?
No, I do rock with the Yankees though, but I ain't putting on no. Anyways, I'll move on, man.
I ain't mad at the Yankees though. I ain't tripping off the Yankees.
And I'm not no Knicks fan either, but I rock with OG though. So come on, why would I support the Pistons?
Come on,
probably got a Jets jersey for all I know.
Just wait till the Pistons win in 6, and I got it written down. I got it noted. We coming back when the Pistons win in 6. It's over with. I'm coming. I'm telling y'all right now.
Hey, me and you gonna be right back up here standing on business.
Man, I'm letting them know, bro. I'm acting a fool. A fool. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
If the Pistons win the series,
when the Pistons win in 6. When they win in 6. Pistons jersey, Pistons fitted, Pistons hat coming on. I'm coming on. Yeah, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm acting a fool.
I might be like Ox. I might relocate out east too.
Yeah, go on. Hey, don't trip. I got another jersey. I got jersey for you. I'll send it to you. No
doubt. All right, y'all. The last super chat of the day is from DBZ Stay. DBZ said 3 things. Steph and Jimmy, best playoff duo. Draymond, relax. And last, get Buddy off the floor or off the court because he is awful. Give Jonathan Kuminga and Santos his minutes.
Yeah, no Kuminga minutes.
Crazy.
That was kind of surprising. I did think he would play in this Rocket series.
Buddy Hield has been playing so bad, bro.
But Rockets
is crazy with that type of shit. He be pissing me off with that.
I don't know, bro. I don't know what it is with Buddy Hield, bro. I don't know what has been gotten into him, like why he's playing so bad. I ain't never seen him play this bad, bro.
And man, Kuminga.
You've never seen him play this bad?
Not this.
I saw him play this bad.
You haven't watched the last 8 years?
This is bad from Buddy.
In Sacramento, he was
bad.
straight. He was straight.
In Sacramento,
he really wasn't.
Maybe it was the team around him that made it seem like he wasn't doing this bad, but we got him for Boogie. So since we got him for Boogie, they figured, well, we got to make him the centerpiece of the offense. Let him shoot all the shots. Let him do this. He can't do nothing but like catch and shoot. He can't run any other offense. He's garbage. Yeah, I've been trying to tell you this for a long time. But Buddy Hield is not a hoop. He is not a hooper, bro. He is not a hooper at all. Can't argue with that.
You can look at the way he walk. You can look at the way you could tell he just ain't no hooper. he just learned how to shoot the ball real good.
He was 20 in college, man. We should have known, man.
Yeah. Well, shout out Buddy and Jonathan Kuminga. There'll be in new locations next year. But as for right now, Manny, you wanna plug yourself? You wanna let the people know where they can find you at?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, follow us on YouTube, Instagram, at the Run Podcast. You can look at us on TikTok as well. We post all the content on there, and then listen to the podcast as well at the Run Podcast. You can check it out on Spotify, iPodcast, wherever you get your podcast. Just search up The Run with Manny Wilson, and then I should pop up right there. So appreciate y'all for having me on, man. I had a blast today. Excited to join all the time, of course.
Hey, for real, if y'all win the series, you back up here that next day if you available.
Oh, I'm talking the craziest shit. I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting y'all know. Like I got to give a disclaimer. before I come up here and acting a fool, and y'all wondering like, damn, I ain't never seen him act like this. I just want y'all to know that's it. So I'm just gonna
be right there with you. No, New York, no. All right, y'all. We gonna be back here tomorrow. Y'all be sure to tap in tonight on Playback. That's where you can find us watching the Knicks versus the Pistons. All right, y'all. Catch you on the flip side.
Merry Christmas.
No, New York, no.